organized by the Department of and Tourism Management, Department of Commerce, and Department of Economics. I am Juliet Efler Zarzoliani, and on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank you for joining today's webinar on Tourism for Inclusive Growth, A Way Ahead. To begin our first session, may I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.P. Vadera, to deliver a welcome speech. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Juliet, for being the host of today's international webinar on tourism and inclusive growth. This is a broader theme of today's international webinar. This is the fourth one in the series, and we will have one more in the afternoon on a different theme. Good morning to all the participants, the speakers, the resource persons, and warm welcome from the ICFI fraternity, as well as from the Vice Chancellor desk. Friends, today we are going to have this international webinar on a very important, relevant topic, which is being debated in Mizoram from last maybe more than 3 decades. I am a witness to this. I joined my job service as a teacher in Pachanga College in 1985. I have been the witness to all the efforts that have been made in this direction. Lots of seminars to this effect have been organized, but we have not been able to make much significant progress in this direction. And I hope that today's seminar will be able to help us in understanding the various challenges, the bottlenecks, and the hurdles that we have in expanding these activities in this particular sector. Northeast as a whole can be a tourist hub, because out of the 37 World Heritage sites, out of these 37 in India, there may be 6 to 7 are within the Northeast. But as far as the Mizoram is concerned, it has its own beauty, it has its own culture. I think the tourism focus in the Northeast has to be maybe slightly different than what we have in the central India. Places like UP, or maybe the South or the North or the West, they have their own these World Heritage sites, a large part of this total. Okay, so therefore, I think we have to understand our strengths. We need to do some SWOT analysis of strengths, weaknesses, these opportunities and challenges in the field of tourism. Why we have not been able to move forward, although that in the recent past we have started some academic programs. Bachelor of this Travel and Tourism program was initiated by ICFI. That was the first time. And even this MBA program, this journal was initiated. But as far as this master degree MBA program in travel and tourism also has been started by Mizoram University 1 or 2 years back. But I find the response in the initial stage in terms of this enrollment in this program, BBA Travel and Tourism, and even hotel management was quite encouraging. But slowly, as we see, I think the response is not very encouraging. We need to examine there's some research in this direction need to be conducted. Why that admission has come down so much? I think there might be some significant reasons. I don't know. The reason must be understood from the perspective of the students, because maybe their placement this that we have done so far are falling, maybe whether they are happy with that kind of a placement or job opportunities available to them. And this other factor need to be examined. Thank God today we have with us the first speaker, Mr. V. Laleng Moya, who is the Director, Department of Tourism, Government of Mizoram. And then we have two academicians with us as the speaker. I think we need to have a little more maybe broad level kind of this platform where the government agencies, the Department of Tourism and academics, this I think it requires a very serious kind of planning. So I think this today's seminar, the topics that I have, Mr. V. Laleng Moya, the Honorable Director of Tourism Department. So he's talking on tourism in Mizoram, challenges and way forward or falling. I think he will be the right person. I am sure we will get lots of insights. He will be focusing on the challenges. I think there are very serious challenges. So why the people are not selecting Mizoram as a tourism site? I think what need to be done in that particular direction. Although Mizoram is a very favorable, very positive site, because maybe this is the most peaceful state in the country now. People are very hospitable and they have a unique culture. Their environment is very friendly state, moderate climate, both in winter and summer. I think we need to do a little planning, taking in mind our stance as a site for tourism and encouragement and its proliferation. I think this seminar will throw some lights. Then we have another speaker, Dr. Ramaswamy, my old colleague from MZU. She is going to talk on exploring Mizo weavers, a rich tradition in Thangzol. I think she's again the very right speaker. She has done her PhD in this particular area, and she has been in charge of a BWalk program on weavers, I think, which MZU had started 2 years back. And she has been a very active worker. So she has been visiting off and on to Thangzol, and she has personal connectivity with most of the weavers there. I think she will be throwing light on this issue. Then we have a speaker, Dr. Narmata Singh Pawar. She will be talking on Northeast tourism opportunities and hurdles. I think we have opportunities, we have lots of possibilities, but at the same time we have the hurdles. The challenges and the hurdles, I think that need to be attended to, and then proper planning need to be, our action plan need to be worked out. And then I think there is every possibility that we can attract tourists. I know there are certain apprehensions and fears. I think all this can be planned properly, following the way we plan, the things will happen accordingly. Okay, all this apprehension and fear can be addressed. I know that tourism has its own negativities. So I think this can be attended to. I think I am not worried much, because it depends upon what kind of tourist you expect and what kind of provision you create and what are the rules and procedures and all this kind of. I think that can be worked out. Okay. So I would like to say that SWOT analysis, I think that need to be done. We must constitute maybe a state level team with the people from the tourism department. And now we have some academicians there in ICFI who have been working in this. And we have also MBA Travel and Tourism Department in Mizoram University. We have a lot of learned people. We can sit together and plan. I think that should be a joint venture from the academic front and the administrative front. With that, I welcome all of you, and especially our speakers, the Honorable Director, Tourism, and Dr. Ramaswamy and Dr. Narmata Singh. And thank you so much for sparing your valuable time to be with us today. And ultimately, all of us are, I think, having the same objectives, whether we are in ICFI or we are in Mizoram University, or maybe we are in the State Government Department of Tourism. The objective is same, how to maybe move forward in this direction, so that there can be more employment opportunities, there can be more economic activities, and there can be more inclusive development. I think we should learn lessons from the state like J&K and maybe Himachal, and even Meghalaya, our own, even Arunachal are falling. There are lots of possibility within the Northeast, and every state has its own unique features. We must just try to understand those strengths which Mizoram has and how they can be utilized for creating this more tourism and travel and other kind of related activities. Thank you once again, and I welcome all of you. Please participate freely, and let us come out with some significant recommendations. And since that Director of Tourism is there with us today, I think let us feel free, let us suggest some significant recommendations so that all the hurdles and challenges can be addressed. Thank you so much once again from VC's desk. Thank you. Juliet, now you can take over.
Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome and motivating and informative speech. So as pointed out by our Vice Chancellor, tourism is one of the most relevant sectors globally with its diverse socio-economic benefits. In addition, the unique features of tourism is that it can be practically promoted almost everywhere. So presently, every nation and economy is trying to promote tourism for one reason or another. And the concept of inclusive tourism is a valuable addition to the term sustainable, accessible, and rural tourism. Amartya Sen has once pointed out that economic growth without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. So the goal of this webinar is to address the relevance and the need of tourism development in the Northeast region. Furthermore, it aims to transform where marginalized groups are engaged in ethical production or consumption of tourism and its benefits. Today, we feel privileged to have distinguished speakers as resource person, Mr. Vilal Moya, Dr. Rama Swamy, and Dr. Namrata Singh Pawar, who are knowledgeable and well expert on the topic. So the paper presented in this webinar will address the tourism industry, social, economic, political, and cultural significance. Also, its importance in preserving and promoting culture and heritage, inclusive recovery, and ensuring that no one is left behind. So before we proceed to our next session, I would like to make several announcements to all the participants. If you have any questions or opinions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box, or you can unmute when you wish to share. So and by mentioning the name of the speaker you are referring to. So we will bring them up during the presentation if necessary, or we will have a question at the end of the technical session. So I would like to seek your cooperation in completing the webinar. And also I would like to announce that an e-certificate will be provided to every participant. So please fill the feedback form that will be provided at the end of the session. Now, without further ado, we will turn our time to our first technical session. Our first speaker is Mr. Vilal Moya. Mr. Vilal Moya is the Director, Department of Tourism, Government of Mizoram. He started working on his current position on January 2020. He studied BA Political Science from St. Xavier College, Calcutta, and completed his master in Political Science and Government from Madras Christian College. He has excelled academically and engaged in extracurricular activities and community services. He started working right after his postgraduate for the government of Mizoram in June 2003 as the Joint Director in the Department of Food, Civil Supply and Consumer Affairs. He is also appointed as the Deputy Director of Political and Cabinet and worked as the Deputy Secretary and Project Director at the Rural Development Department, and also worked as a State Protocol Officer at the General Administration Department. And he has more than 18 years of excellent work experience, and he has extensive knowledge and experience in administration and management, and he specialized in IT and its related services. He is well known for his critical political analysis and knowledge of good governance and management. So before I invite Sir, I would like to make an announcement. As the Department of Tourism Mizoram is organizing Anturian Festival online and offline, Sir will not be able to be with us till the end of this session. So the Q&A session will be open right after his presentation. So I encourage you all to drop your questions to our resource person, Mr. Vilal Moya, in the textbook during or right after the presentation. Okay. Now I call upon our first speaker, Mr. Vilal Moya, to present on the theme Tourism in Mizoram, Challenges and Way Forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Before I start my presentation, I would like to invite all of you tonight at Vanapa Hall for the celebration of Anturiam Festival 2021. Last year, we celebrated Anturiam Festival online on virtual platform. It was the first virtual platform to be celebrated festival or functions in Mizoram. So I would say we were the trendsetter from last year. When we started virtual festival, Anturiam Virtual Festival last year, some colleges and some organizations are start doing virtual and that online type of festivals and friends associates, etc. So this year we are going to celebrate in hybrid, and some of the programs will be on virtual platform, and tonight's and tomorrow nights 8 to 10 a.m. will be physical program at Vanapa Hall. So I am extending a special invitation to all faculties and all students here, all the IFI students, not here, all the IFI students in the university. Okay, thank you once again. Professor R.P. Vadera, Sir, Vice Chancellor, IFI University, Dr. Ramasamy, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Mizoram University, Dr. Namrata Singh Panwar, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Government of Uttarakhand. I think she's from a university, not from the government. Anyway, it is written here, Government of Uttarakhand. Our host, our beautiful host, Ms. Juliet F. Zarzouliani, Ms. Aileen Malsomdongi, faculty, esteemed participants, and students of IFI University. I am extremely delighted to speak to you in the webinar series on tourism for inclusive growth, a way ahead, which is organized by the IFI University Mizoram on virtual platform. So I would like to begin with my presentation, my speech that Mizoram is, that a world of contradiction. It is very remote, yet modern, I would say. It is unpretentious. That means we are remote and we are modern. At least we are not trying to impress anyone. We are what we are. I would say that. Aizawl and other districts are modern and accessible, just like everyone else. That I used to keep saying to all, that all those attendees of the webinars on virtual platform also. I would ask all those people who are from outside Mizoram to know that we are modern and accessible. At least Aizawl we have a direct flight from Kolkata, Imphal, Delhi, and Guwahati. So just like everyone else in India, we are modern and accessible. We are not savage. We are not barbarians. We are just like everyone else in India. So Mizoram is tucked in these hills, cramped with hills that roll over, that roll over across for hundreds of miles. I would say that, covered mostly with lush forests and dominated by thick bamboo groves. You can see many bamboo groves around here and there, and green paddy fields, admirable vineyards in Champai and the eastern side, Biate, and that Nalan side, and teeming, vibrant wildlife. We have many forests, national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, sheer cliffs, and serene lakes and waterfalls. We have many of that. So Mizoram is unfamiliar to most of us Indians, and it is known as the paradise unexplored, untouched, hidden from the mass tourists, with unlimited adventure and unlimited fun. So I will be going straight forward to my speech, where I would like to touch upon Mizoram should be the people's next destination in a nutshell, before I'm going to the challenges and way forward in the post-COVID, and the preparedness in the Mizoram tourism in the post-COVID situation in the tourism sector. You might have heard that Mizoram, they would say in Mizoram there is no sightseeing. They would used to say that. They would say that. Everybody would say that. Even you might also say that. But actually, there is too much of it if you look in the right places. You can look for the right places. You just can't simply say there is no sightseeing Mizoram. Of course, we have many. If you are if people are looking for a quiet, carefree holiday, getting up close with nature and personal with even the folklores, or experiencing these dramatic sea of morning mist unfold. That is, people are loving that. People are liking this kind of, this kind of activity, this kind of environments in Mizoram. It is a destination worth their while, I would say that. So the state has been marked by evergreen ranges of hills that showcase nature's beauty, and that magnificent views and breathtaking views. The steep terrain, rivers, caves, and peaks are the perfect to spend some soul's enriching time. So Mizoram sadly does not make it to the travels. Many people's travel bucket list due to the lack of information. Information is a vital tool to get to know that Mizoram is also very famous. It has very famous lakes. It has very famous mountains and all. So we have many famous places to visit that will certainly make a place not only in the travel bucket list, but I'm also sure that these places will stay in their hearts forever. So I would say that Aizawl is, as I said earlier, it is modern and accessible, and then we have many, beautiful lakes and rivers that roll across, the states. And I would also say that Mizoram is an untouched natural beauty. If you want to embrace and connect with nature, if people are looking for embracing and connecting with nature, I would recommend Mizoram is their next destination after this pandemic. So we are blessed with abundance of hill ranges, grassy landscapes. We are breathtaking and magnificent and fascinating. I would say mesmerizing also. Spectacular waterfalls, which are mesmerizing. Dense forests and fable caves. Not just the pleasure of watching nature up close, they can also go up for boating in various lakes, bike safari, mountain biking, we have mountain biking tracks, cycling, get a taste of our traditional cooking, the unique culture of ours and distinctive festivals too will also leave many, many marks on them, I would say that. So our serene piece of land will leave them refreshed and tranquil, in peace. We have many lakes, beautiful lakes, Tram Deals, that's there nearby, Rung Deal, Reng Deal, Palang Deal, Vantong Falls, Turia Falls, Tuitum Falls, Tuirifang Falls, Tuisen Tlabung Falls, and that Kao Tlabung Falls. There are a few examples which are worth mentioning. And I will also say that people of Mizoram are very hospitable. At first sight, they might not welcome you with a big grin, but after getting to know you, and then we have very, we have a very positive, attitude toward travelers and outsiders. We may not give that a big smile at the first meet. This is because we are very honest. We are very being honest. But after getting to know the travelers and the tourists and travelers, we are very, we are our. The outsiders like a VIP among our mates, after getting to know them better. And then one distinctive character of Mizoram is, I would say, it is a silent city. A silent city. As a citizen, everyone takes on responsibility of making Aizawl city a no honking city, which is an envy to all of Indian states. Where honking is a normal norm, it is a normal trend in other parts of the country. In Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, or anywhere else, you can hear the honking of, the excessive honking in these cities. But Mizos have a unique rule. That is the people's rule, people's civic sense, the rule for honk-free roads. So as a result, there is no noise pollution created by the traffic. People strictly follow the lane, and you will never see a biker breaking a lane. And that riding his bike on a footpath to escape traffic. That is very common in other parts of India. Basically, locals, we are not forced to follow traffic rules, but we are self-conscious and self-disciplined, and we are self-disciplined enough to know the importance of following the traffic rules. So this makes the road accident very less in Aizawl city. And another distinctive character and spectacular characteristic of Mizoram is shops without keepers. This is based on trust. This is based on mutual trust. Actually, it is hard to have, faith in others when money is involved, unless there is some assurance from others or other party. But Mizoram we have our own golden lesson on mutual trust. When you pass through the highways in Mizoram between villages, you will see several temporary makeshift shops with fresh produce from the farms. This unique thing is that these shops do not have shopkeepers. You are fully aware that they just put a plastic money box kept for you to pay for your to pay after you choose what you wish to buy, and it is the simplest way of transaction wrapped in trust. And you pick what you want, you put money in the plastic box. That is the method only. So these shops are locally known as ngalodor, shops without keeper. This culture is not found anywhere else in India. This means that we trust everyone and we expect everyone to be honest as well. And I would also like to say about the happiness of the people. Management Development Institute, Gurugram, that last year in 2020, in its happiness report of India 2020, Mizoram topped the happiness index and declared the happiest state in India based on the parameters such as family relations, friendships, income and growth, work-related issues, and social issues, physical and mental well-being, religious and spiritual matters, and effect of COVID-19. So that means we are not the best state. I'm not saying we are not the best state. I'm not saying we're not the best state. I'm not saying we are the wealthiest state. Our economy is the best one in India. Our economy is the biggest economy in India. I'm not saying that. But Mizo people are happy because we are happy for what we have. We value what we have. We don't envy others. So Mizoram top in these parameters and declared as the happiest state in India. It is not about how much we have. It is about how much we value what we have. I would say that this is one of the the distinct characteristics of the Mizo people in the social life. And another thing I would like to mention is land of festivals. We have many festivals like Anturiam Festival. We just heard about that. Chapcharkut is one of the best festivals in Mizoram we have. We have many festivals. It is a land filled with abundant culture and heritage with different festivals to enjoy. So I'm inviting all, all those Madam Namrata Singh Panwar and people from outside to get a taste of our festivals, to enjoy our festivals. We have three major festivals, specially related to agriculture, known as Chapcharkut, Mimkut, and Polkut. Chapcharkut is considered as the major festival of farming celebrated during March every year. And then people will get opportunities to see people in their traditional attires and mingle in the festivals with the locals. And this year, Anturiam Festival, as I have said, is held annually at Mystic Rake Hills. But from last year, it was celebrated online. And this year also, it will be celebrated online and offline. So I would recommend for tourists to observe this colorful festival. Winter Festival is also celebrated during December every year. So we are going to have Winter Festival this coming December this year. Another thing I would also like to mention is that Mizoram set the Guinness World Record in chair dance way back in 2010 with more than 10,000 dances stretching 2.5 kilometers. We're dancing chero, we're performing chero. This is the largest ensemble ever in the world for the, that kind of bamboo dance. We call it chero dance. It's a kind of bamboo dance. There are many varieties of bamboo dances in Southeast Asia and South, that in the Northeast. So this kind of festival, this kind of dances. Among this kind of dances, we had the largest ensemble ever in the world in 2010. So we have the Guinness World Record in chero dance, and that Thailand is a land of smile, and you also call land of temples. And then I'm not right now. I'm not saying about the religious. I'm not saying from the religious perspective. I'm saying from the tourism perspective. I would also call Mizoram is a land of churches. Why can't we call the Mizoram a land of churches when Thailand can be called a land of festival? I mean, a land of temples. So Mizoram, especially Aizawl and other districts, capitals, and headquarters, these are the ideal religious tourism, as different churches and that are everywhere in all localities belonging to different denominations and sects. The largest family we have here in the world, Baktong, Zion Chana, who is also basically a religious sect staying together in a compact colony. Travelers can witness how Mizo tend to their religious activities on Sundays, Saturdays, and Wednesdays, and can also witness various forms of revival and evangelical phenomena. From the tourist perspective, it would be quite interesting to witness the activities of the Mizo Christians on those given days. And land of bamboos, I would also call Mizoram a land of bamboos. Bamboos are our everyday life. As we eat bamboo, as we eat bamboo shoot, which is a local delicacy among the locals, and the bamboo products are very common in this way of life. We have bamboo huts, we have bamboo can chair, and then we have bamboo teapot, we have bamboo ashtray, everything we have made from bamboo. So people are welcome to try these dried bamboo shoots. Boiled bamboo shoots with pork and other forms of preparation are quite a delicacy, are delectable in their true self. And then coming to the preparedness on post-COVID travel tourism, post-COVID travels and tourism in Mizoram, and challenges and way forward. And first, I would like to say about revival of tourism and hospitality sector during the pandemic. Actually, we are aggressively pursuing publicity and marketing through social media platform. This is the best we can do this now, because due to the pandemic and all, tourism sector is the hardest hit and the first casualty of the COVID-19, and it will be the last to recover from the COVID-19. So people are saying, the researchers are saying that in order to retain the normalcy in tourism sector, it will take 2 to 3 more years to stay in the normalcy. That means by 2024, tourism could be getting to normal. So it is quite difficult for tourism sector and to hospitality sector, especially in Mizoram, a state like Mizoram, where tourism is a nascent stage, though we are 37 years old. So the best we can do, the least we can do is publicity and marketing through our social media platforms. We are very proactive in social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, with followers and subscribers keep increasing day by day. From our Facebook posts and social media handles and amplifications and everything on this, people are getting to know that Mizoram tourism is present in the social media. Mizoram tourism is present in Facebook. Mizoram tourism is present in Instagram, on Twitter. So people are saying that, wow, this is very nice. I have never seen this. Even the local residents are not, knowing that this particular place is not existed in Mizoram itself. So people are very curious that this place, I have not been here, I have not been there, I have not visited this place. So we promoted our, our beautiful places, our beautiful caves, rivers, and lakes, everything. These social media platforms are a vital tool for promoting the state's potential in tourism sector, so travelers could plan their visits to Mizoram well in advance after the pandemic, after the post-COVID. So in order to revive tourism and hospitality sector in our state, the first simple thing that we can do is engagement of social media platforms. And secondly, promoting domestic tourism from the Northeast and the East Indian states will be the top most important agenda for the state, because people from Guwahati and people from Kolkata are our biggest markets. Last week we had a webinar with very famous organization in India. I will not disclose the name of the organization. And then their president, I would say the president chairman, was asked to deliver a speech on Mizoram tourism, few points on Mizoram tourism. And then he admitted that, he said that, I'm sorry, I could not say much about Mizoram tourism because I have not been to Mizoram. I'm not very familiar with Mizoram. He was saying that. So in the introductory, I said that we are modern and accessible just like everyone else. So it is important to know every state and its capital. Every state and its capital in the tourism perspective. So given the international travel restrictions and fear of infection, domestic tourism offers a better chance of a rebound in the early phase of recovery. You know that many governments are looking forward to stimulate domestic tourism as a way to support the bustling tourism industry, especially in Mizoram. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please mute your mic while I'm speaking. Everyone, please. Second, the promoting domestic tourism from the Northeast and the East Indian states will be, the topmost agenda for the state. As I said, Kolkata and Guwahati are the biggest market for the Mizoram tourism. But people are afraid of infection. Domestic tourism offers a better chance for a rebound in the early phase of recovery. So many people are still yearn that they may want to travel, but prefer to stay closer to home and avoid mass transportation, given the risk of infection and near-term and general uncertainty. That's why Mizoram could be the preferred destination after the COVID, because Mizoram is remote, hassle-free, free from hassle and bustle, free from social commotion. So Mizoram could be the best, the best bet after the pandemic for the domestic tourists. And thirdly, another option for the state to restart tourism is to establish the so-called travel bubbles. And then many of you might not know about the meaning of the travel bubbles. Travel bubbles is that an agreement between two or three organizations. Supposing we are developing a travel bubbles with other industries, and then we could be developing a partnership with some kind of organization or some kind of some other states, like that could be beneficial, but that can be reciprocal and beneficial for both the parties. So travel bubbles can be formed between two or more partners, like Mizoram tourism and Assam tourism, or Mizoram tourism, or Meghalaya tourism, or Mizoram tourism, or a group of hotel chain, or a group of hotel resort, etc. And then the fourth thing is local tourism. As Mizoram offers the best environment for various forms of ecotourism, adventure tourism, locals are not even aware that Mizoram offers plethora of attractions in our midst. The state government is trying to tap the locals and encourage locals to travel inside the state as much as possible in popularize. You know that you might have seen that everyone is a tourist slogan, tourism ads in the local TV channel in Zone and LPS channel. Everyone is a tourist. We are encouraging everyone to travel at least once in a year to visit at least our domestic, our inside destination. Spending holidays in Thailand, spending holiday in Bangkok, spending holiday in Goa, spending holiday in Kerala are not only the holiday itself, but spending a time, spending your weekend getaway, spending your day excursion at Tezel Golf Course, Tweedy Hill Falls, Kopop, Mui Fang, Rayek, some other places inside Mizoram are also holidays. So people should know that, everyone should know that, everyone is a tourist. Non-Mizos from outside Mizoram are not tourists alone. We are also tourists. Everyone is a tourist. So we are popularizing this slogan, everyone is a tourist. And then we are also popularizing, that everyone is a tourism ambassador. So we keep urging people, keep urging, especially the students like you, that the students are very influential. They have many connections. They are connecting with K-pop, with K-pop, Bollywood and Hollywood and everything. So we keep asking them to popularize their, to amplify the Mizoram tourism's beautiful places in their social media posts. So through these experiences and feedbacks, tourism in Mizoram could be promoted in a large scale to outside the state by yourself, ourselves, by students, by the local residents. And another thing is digital technology is another area that deserves attention. That we need to emphasize the important role of technologies, digitizations, such as virtual reality platform in the holding tourist interest during the lockdown, and as a source for data to inform planning and decision making. So technology will continue to play a growing role in tourism to stay afloat. To stay afloat in the industry in the midst of COVID. So this COVID-19 has increased, that many numbers of digital nomads seeking opportunities to work from tourism destination. So vaccines roll out and offices reopened. Destination will need to keep a close eye on the durability of this market. So, and then from the government perspective, we also need to, you need to improve our health safety and building traveler confidence, which is the immediate challenge for the Mizoram tourism that needs to that we need to tackle also, because that people are coming to Mizoram and staying in tourist lodges. We have many tourist lodges. We have 69 tourist lodges. Out of that, we outsource 25 to 27 tourist lodges to outsiders. So in order to attract people from outside the state, we are making utmost efforts in putting health protocols in place. This is very important. We put sanitizers, we put the free masks, everything and all. So communicating with the public daily to instill confidence and understanding the guidelines. The state government made standard operating protocols for hotels and tour operators and public-private dialogues around the recovery strategy. So we need to continue to see the need for strong health and sanitation protocols as people are seeking. People are seeking refuge, seeking safety from the onslaught of COVID-19. And I would also say that COVID-19 that I said, like I said, Mizoram tourism is also one of the worst hit sector in Mizoram also. And then we started closing our tourist lodges, and we started closing all this, and we ordered the closure of hotels and restaurants and tour operations and travel operations on 24th March 2020 last year. So the road to recovery for tourism and travel sector will require innovation and collaboration. Although the pandemic is far from over, we must also plan to build better for what engaging across government sector, private sector, civil society and partners, and prepare for changing business models and governance structure to meet the new and different demands, and clearly communicating actions to rebuild investor and consumers' confidence will be important in the long term, in the short term. In the long term, strengthening sustainability and resilience and sharing benefits more equitably will also be critical. So I would say that together, these projects, we can revitalize the global tourism sector, especially the Mizoram tourism sector, harnessing its market, creating power to support economies, create jobs for the educated and uneducated youths, and drive development outcomes that put people and their communities first. So one thing I cannot forget to mention is that that Mizoram, even with the COVID-19 pandemic, Mizoram tourism has made a great stride, in the tourism sector, in the field of, that legal frameworks and all. So last year we notified Mizoram Responsible Tourism Policy 2020, which is very comprehensive, very inclusive. It is proper. And then we also notified Mizoram Registration of Tourist Trade Rules and Tourist Trade Act. We have aerosport rules, and then we notified river rafting rules, and then we notified many guidelines and standard operating procedures for hotels and restaurants, and all these guidelines. We took COVID-19 last year as a blessing in disguise. We started having all these legal frameworks for for the implementation of tourism development and tourism promotion in Mizoram. So last year also, this year also, we knowing that Mizoram is not a manufacturing unit, Mizoram is not an industrial state, Mizoram is not a factory state. We are just like we are just very poor state in infrastructure, socially, economically, and physically also. So we developed 89 tour guides this year from the migrant workers. We trained 89 tour guides this year, and then we now have, for the first time in the history of Mizoram, we have 89 certified state-level tour guides. These certified state-level tour guides were were registered with us, and then their rates and their rates, daily rates and night rates, everything has also been notified for the interests of these people. So tourism could be employment avenues for both educated and uneducated youths. So if anyone who is interested from here in the webinar, who are interested in tourism sector and the tourism and hospitality sector, and then you can approach, and then we can keep, we can keep you in the loop for the development of the tourism sector in the state. So I'm concluding my speech. So, as I said, lastly but not the least, I'm inviting again all of you to come over here, to come over to Vanapa Hall tonight at 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. tonight and tomorrow's night for the Anturium Festival. And lastly, Mizoram offers, that a calm, a serene atmosphere with exciting outdoor activities in the beautiful lush green surroundings, which keep you close to the beautiful, that beautiful nature, and which keep you close to beautiful and peaceful nature. With our grand festival, just as I said, Chapcharkut Anturium Festival, and all these winter festival, people are wearing colorful traditional costumes and everything is there. Mizoram welcomes everyone to explore its beauty and richness. So if you love to be in the nature's, if you want to wake up in the lap of nature, Mizoram is a place for everyone. Mizoram is a place for outsiders, not only for us. Mizoram is a place for tourists, which is mystical Mizoram, a paradise for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable insight and overall scenario on the Mizoram tourism. And sir has mentioned that tourism is a destination, is a tourist destination. Mizoram is a tourist destination in the present and in the future, and has also highlighted the ample natural beauty and the strategic location and the scope for international trade and the possibility for adventure tourism and favorable condition for rural tourism. And also, sir had also highlighted the distinct characteristic of the Mizo community. And also, sir has also mentioned how the tourism department are coping with the pandemic and the post-pandemic. So it is very enlightening presentation. And sir, I could see how much effort you put to creating the strategy, and it's informative to hear about the travel bubbles as well. It's very informative. And also I request all the participants to follow Mizoram tourism in social media and be a part of the promotion and marketing. And let's take this webinar as an opportunity to be aware of the local tourism. So as I have mentioned before, we will go ahead with time for question and answer. Yeah. And you can post your question in the chat box, or the meeting is open for sharing and you can unmute your mic if you wish to share.
In the chat box,
yes,
I have a question. I have I received a question from David Lalchan Nima, and then he is asking, as an official from tourism department, what are the steps taken by the state government in terms of transportation and accommodation in order to promote tourism in Mizoram? What kind of tourism would be the best suitable to promote in Mizoram? And then I can answer that. Transportation and accommodation units are the part and parcel of the tourism sector and hospitality sector everywhere else in the world. In Mizoram, we have the responsible tourism policy 2020 last year. As I said earlier, we notified last year. And then in the in the responsible tourism policy document, it is very comprehensive, very inclusive. And then there is, we try to protect, those people who are engaged, those stakeholders who are engaged in the transportation and accommodation units. We are trying to protect, we are going to give incentives. We are going to give, we are going to facilitate for loans, etc. So this will be our, that can be done from our side, but we cannot give financial assistance. We can also, but we can facilitate for loans. We can facilitate for some kind of financial assistance, but we cannot give in cash. So that is the steps being taken by the state. And then we are also trying to, trying to have an order regarding the prohibition of other states' vehicles. Other states' vehicles applying to our tourist sites. That is under consideration in the government. And then what kind of tourism would be the best suitable to be promoted in Mizoram would be, it is eco-adventure tourism. We do not have a man-made tourism like, in Taj Mahal, they have, in Agra, they have man-made tourism, man-made attraction, Taj Mahal. London, Buckingham Palace is there, man-made also. Delhi, there are many man-made attractions, but in Mizoram we don't have man-made attractions. The most the most important, the most famous man-made attractions we have in Mizoram is Solomon Temple and KV Paradise. So I would say that the best suitable category under tourism to promote tourism in Mizoram is eco-adventure tourism, because Mizoram is blessed with nature. It's virgin forest, it's bamboo groves, and that all these serene lakes and peaceful lakes and rivers, they are perfect ingredients for developing the eco-adventure tourism. And the second one, can I take the second one, Miss Julia?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any upgrade to, because I'm a little bit hurry. Is there any upgrade tourist lodge homestay as a tool for socio-economic well-being of rural communities in Mizoram? Actually, we have 69 tourist lodge across the states, and some 25 to 27 are outsourced to the private players. You see that our tourist lodges are not, that our is not what we are expecting from the government. I don't deny that. Some of them are in a state of, that state of ruins. Then I cannot comment much about the upgradation of tourist lodge, because right now government is not interested in the tourist lodge and all these things. And then we are encouraging private players, like that those who are interested in running the tourist lodge. And then this time also we will be outsourcing 4 numbers of tourist lodges to Mizoram, as women self-help groups under the Mizoram State Rural Livelihood Mission. And as for homestay, and then we have 77 homestay under tourism department, which is sponsored by the state government, which is sponsored by the tourism department in Champhai district, Khozol district, and Mamit district. These are our sponsor homestays for the needy, for those who are interested in the developing homestay units. And then and then the next one is, would it be possible to invite global celebrity in our state to have a concert or show so that it would attract the eye of the world? Yes, of course we can invite the global celebrity. Before I joined tourism in 2020, I think it was in 2015 or 2016, they invited, that Korean K-pop group. I don't know the name. Actually, I'm not interested. I don't know about the K-pop very much. They invited K-pop people in our state, and then I don't know whether those K-pop amplified, increased the footfalls of, the footfalls of the tourists from outside. I will see to that. And then I think there is a question from my friend, Mr. Zodin Tara. I think he's a friend of mine. Mizoram would be tourist destination after the pandemic, but our cuisine is not rich. Are there any steps taken regarding local cuisine or street food? Right now, we don't have initiative on our street food and local cuisine. And then we are going to have food festival. Actually, we are supposed to have food festival this September or October, but due to the pandemic and lockdown and the restrictions of the movements, and the people are afraid of coming to Mizoram because there was a big spike and surge in the positive cases. So we canceled everything. Next year we might have. That is what we are going to do. We are very interested in food tourism and food festival or something like that. Of course, he's saying that our cuisine is not rich. I'm saying that our cuisine is rich. People are loving our saum, our bekang, or our puinam and our lakheran tour. We are very rich. Our cuisine is also very rich. They are also organic, and people are loving it. Please do not say our cuisine is not rich. And then the next one is Winter Festival. If you need any dances regarding Western dance, feel free to contact. Okay, we'll do that. And then why does tourism department promote Anturium, which does not have any interlinkage or relation with the Mizo culture and society? Why not promote local flower? This is a very good question. To Anturium Festival is also, very kind of, it is one of the kind of festivals in the world. There is no other kind of, there is no Anturium Festival in the world. Even I Googled it several times. There is only one Anturium Festival in Mizoram, which is very unique, which is very distinctive, which has a distinct character. Actually, Anturium Festival is the product of Tourism Department and Horticulture Department way back in 2006. So I don't know whether we can promote the local flower. Actually, Anturium flowers, they exported it to Dubai, the Delhi and everything. So we'll think about the Mizo indigenous flower. Zamzam will be fine. Actually, we started initiating responsible tourism initiatives in Kamrang village and Ailong village. Those of you who have not been to Kamrang village, please go to Kamrang village. There are a lot and lots of potentials for the eco-adventure tourism. So we are selecting Kamrang village as one of the pilot project for the responsible tourism initiatives, and then we'll be doing, and then we'll be cultivating, and then we'll be planting. Zamzo flowers, which is a Mizo flower also, and then we'll be having a Zamzo festival in the years to come. That is that is also in the pipeline. And then the next one is, what about our road transportation? Our roads are quite small and shabby. As a Mizo myself, I find it exhausting to travel around. Yeah, that is a very good question. Without our physical infrastructure is very poor. I can admit that. This is why we can promote our, our bad infrastructure, our bad infrastructure in road to attract tourism, because people are not getting used to, like zigzag traveling. Like they would easily have a motion sickness and luak borbora and level te aizol to tenzor aizol to what a po here in kan mikwal te kan ministry mikwal te ka and luak borbor chidane so bangzong khatiang ang kay mani na chida kan soy. We need to value what we have. We need to cherish what we have. Khatiang de ulit khan khatiang kan nei azong zong akha advantage kan lo la kha apoy mo ani ti hakan soy tel to ani. So one. Then the last one is what kind of strategies and tools you will recommend for tourism industry to overcome the recession during the post-COVID? The first one, we are proactively engaged in the social media platforms. That is the least we can do. That is the least we can do right now, because you cannot organize the road shows. Actually, we are supposed to organize the road shows this year. But due to the pandemic, everything is cancelled last year and this year. So we are basically, we are literally basically dead due to the COVID. But our our ministers, our secretaries, and our officers, our other officers are very proactive in reviving and surviving and tourism in the industry to stay afloat. We are this is what we have come so far. So it is quite difficult for tourism sector, not only in Mizoram, but also in the other world, the whole world, to give, that much boost, that much amplification, that much progress during the pandemic. So the best thing we can do right now is the promotion through social media platforms, marketing, everything. That is the least we can do right now. Another question, please. Zanin kha in local vecdonia and Turiam festival kha ti hakan som telle du chuan I would lastly I would like to request all the dear students who are very beautiful and handsome students here, please promote tourism, Mizoram tourism in your platforms, in your social media platforms. It is also your duty as a citizen. You cannot, you can help us. You can help tourism department by just simply, with your fingertips, just posting your village or your places, that beautiful places in your social media platforms. You cannot help, that those people, those department, like rural development department, in the Nisa in Lona. Nisa in Lona can promote the ang, Nisa in Lona Mandrigan, no, I can promote the ang, the Yakanin. But you can promote Mizoram tourism by clicking within your fingertips. So Mizoram tourism suka promote sakay ani. So kim mani hianin and kim hi kan kuta omve smartphone kan huma Twitter kan naya Instagram kan naya Facebook kan ne. So we can promote Mizoram tourism from our site also. So ka in no til post ka bi nan lo hutam lo amo in tipo ka bitam tak namda nan lo buni. So they met their resistance. Oh, this is very nice. This is the next bucket. This is my next travel bucket list, and then this is our next list, and then I can go, and then I'll try to plan. I'll try to go in the next vacations, something like that. So kat yang kanan lo so ive don ta. So vo in nia zirlai du tak local ten kat yang khan min lo ti sakro Mizoram tourism hi hetive mai hi kan ni. We have been here for 37 years. So we have been here 37 years. You know what we are right now. So you know what we are right now. So we can nothing. So to Mizoram tourism here. So nothing chung and nothing see. So in okay. From the due to the request of Director Tourism, and then I will try to promote Mizoram tourism in my Facebook account, in my Instagram handle, in my Twitter handle. Katiang kamiloti sakrao holiday hi heta Kolkata, Bangkok, mo Sikkim tite, Delhi tite, Goa tite, engani Kerala tivet, Kerala backwaters, holiday zuman ka holiday anilaw, Pong Puitlang, avocado expedition vanero. That is holiday. If you are going to trekking for React lang and the Pong Puitlang, that is the holiday. Yeah. If you immerse yourself in the beautiful serene lake of Palak Lake, that is your holiday. So holiday is not about spending your time outside Mizoram. It is about spending your time from your usual. It is moving out moving out yourself from your usual environment. That is your holiday. So kongai takin zan in kanti zia so voin suna webinar kan nei na hianin khatiang kha min lauti sakve ulati kha kan saitel du ani so chuan to bera chuan ICFA University 10 webinar Mizoram tourism bin lo nei puya alomam kati. They are very interested. I'm very thankful to ICFA University professor, Vice Chancellor sir and his team for giving us a chance to speak on this virtual platform, because tourism needs to be needs to be taken as a movement, not as a document. So we need to like a movement, like a cleanliness drive or something like that. So we need to have a kind of movement in tourism so that people will be tourism benefits could all directly go to the people, directly go to uneducated youth, directly go to the educated youth. So for India, Kaloma tourism, Chungchang, ICFA University, Huay Hot Nachang industry hi nang ma ni le Mizoram University Tourism Department hemita che hen la Huay Hot saka webinar shan pa leo liavin ke ma ni chon webinar series si kan nei to thon na chungin chu wang chuan in kan lom mani ti kha min lo hriat sakula ti kha duwa engemo again, but let how the turang chi at the po we are open for our the future partnership with ICFA University and Mizoram University Department of Tourism. So thank you, Vice Chancellor Sir and his team. Thank you, Juliet, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was such an interesting question and answer session. And once again, I want to thank you for rightly pointing out the measures and initiatives taken by the Department of Tourism. And I think sir have covered all the questions. So, and sir, we appreciate you taking off your busy schedule to join us here today. And yes, we will join you.
And other resource person also can drop in in answering all these questions. And then I would like to hear their comments also.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. And we will join you online or offline tonight for the Anturium Festival. And we wish you and your team the very best. And once again, thank you so much, sir. And I want to request all the participants today, as Sir Mr. Vilal Emoya has given us the assignment, the duty to promote tourism. So please, let's make sure we follow and follow the instruction and start it from ourselves today. Okay. And now we will move on to our next speaker, Dr. Rama Ramaswamy. And Dr. Rama Ramaswamy is an associate professor at the Department of Commerce, Mizoram University, and she holds 2 master's degree, financial accounting from University of Mumbai and business administration from Pune University. And she completed her MPhil in commerce from University of Mumbai and earned her PhD degree from Mizoram University. And she had more than 14 years of teaching and research experience, and she specialized in taxation, financial management, and entrepreneurship. And she was well known for her comprehensive work in entrepreneurial development and marketing strategies. So she is famous for her book, Entrepreneur and Tribal Handwoven Cluster in Mizoram. And she has contributed a number of chapters in books and has more than 20 research papers in reputed journals. And she has completed many projects and supervised more than 10 MPhil and PhD scholars. And in the university, she is currently the nodal officer of a newly introduced course, Bachelor of Vocation in Handloom Weaver. So now I call upon our speaker, Dr. Rama Ramaswamy, to present on the theme, Exploring Mizo Weaves, a Rich Tradition in Tanzil. Over to you, Rama ma'am.
Okay, fine. I think now I'm not able to start the video. Why is it so? Have we locked up something? Or should I leave and come back again? Okay. Host has asked me to, yeah, now I can do it. Okay, yeah, thank you. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Julie. There was a little bit of an issue. I'm not very technically savvy person. Okay, so at the outset, let me, please give me a moment. Give me a moment, please.
Ma'am, take your time.
Am I visible?
Yes, ma'am, you are visible.
Please give me a minute. It got a little bit. Okay, so good morning to all of you. Somehow I'm not visible to myself. I don't know why. I don't seem to be visible to myself. Professor R.P. Vadera, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of ICFA University, our former Pro-Vice Chancellor, I've had the privilege to work with him, Pulaleng Moya, who just addressed all of us, esteemed speaker from the government of Mizoram, Dr. Namrata Singh Panwar, who's also on the panel. Thank you, Juliet. We have been in touch constantly, and she has been great help. I would also like to thank Zarem Moi Ralte, and last but not the least, my own student, Eileen, for inviting me on this platform. It's always a pleasure to be speaking to students. Okay? And I see many of my students, some of my former students, some of my present students among the participants. So without wasting a lot of time, let me directly go to my Juliet. I'm not able to share the content. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Should I share
I'm
it
not
from
able.
here?
Yeah, why is it so? Why is it? Anyway, you do it then. Can you do it for me?
I will share it from here.
Yeah, please share it from here. Why is it so? Have I done something wrong? I don't know. Okay. Okay. So today, I'm going to share my experience in Thenzol, my research experience. And that's why the topic itself is exploring Mizo weaves, integrating weaving into tourism, which for some reasons we haven't done. Mizos have a very rich tradition of weaving, and somehow we have not been able to integrate it to tourism. We have a number of clusters in India, like the Kanchipuram silks, you must have heard about it. We have the Chanderi silks in Madhya Pradesh. We have a number of products in Manipur. I don't know to what extent it has been integrated with tourism. So when I was given this topic, it was I was very happy to see that I can integrate my handloom work with tourism also. Okay. So the next one, please, Juliet. We will proceed. Yeah, that's just an introduction. So we'll move to the handloom sector. The handloom sector represents a very rich tradition of India. But more important is that from the point of view of the employment potential, it is very important because it is the second largest employment provider in the country after agriculture. It is giving employment to almost 31.45 lakh households throughout the country. And Mizoram, we'll go to the next slide, please. If you look at the Northeast, we have the largest concentration of handlooms in the country. We have more than 65% of the looms and about more than 50% of the handloom workforce. And as you can see in the slide, Assam is the largest looms, followed by Manipur, Tripura, Nagaland, Arunachal, and Mizoram. Mizoram has about 10,705 looms, according to the handloom census. And we have 17,298 weavers and 10,000 odd, precisely 10,240 allied workers. Now, if you look at the population of Mizoram, this constitutes a considerable share of your population. So it has emerged as one of the most important occupations in the state. Now, I will go directly to Tenzal Handloom Cluster because that is going to be the focus of my presentation. All of us know that Tenzal is a handloom cluster. Perhaps this is the only cluster which has been mapped. And I would proudly say that I was the first one to map the cluster way back in 2008. 2008 December was the first time I visited the cluster, and I have been following the cluster. All of us know it is located in the state of, in Sechip district, and it has developed as a handloom cluster. Now, if you look at the inception, commercial production began in 1982. Now, all this is based on empirical evidence, the data that I have collected for so many years. It's been 15 years I've been working on the cluster. Very interestingly, 98% of the enterprises in the cluster are owned by women. And when I did my research, I found that all the weavers were women because the Mizo society doesn't give sanction to the men to weave. So one will find that the weavers are all women and they dominate the sector. The next slide. Now, because it is a presentation on tourism, Juliet, can you please, because it is, my topic is, no, please, I want them to show the picture, please, the aerial view of Tenzal. Many of them may not have seen Tenzal. Many of you might have. Now, as it is a presentation on tourism, and as Pulaling Moya said, it is a movement. So let me also be part of the movement. And now this is an aerial view of Tenzal, taken from the Forest Guest House on the hilltop. And this is the beauty of Tenzal. You find the, that's known as a field wing. And it's a small hamlet comprising of a population of barely 5,000 people. Okay, next. Yes, Julius, we can move ahead. I don't know what has happened to this one. Okay, now what is important is, as I told you, being a commerce person, I want to integrate the livelihood opportunities, the economic impact of tourism on Tenzal. If you look at the impact of weaving on Tenzal, it is the most important or most significant source of income, or it is the most dominant occupation in that particular place. Okay, so this is all, as I told you, it is not opinionated. It's all on data which has been collected. 73% of the entrepreneurs derived their livelihood from weaving alone. Okay, so it's obvious that this occupation is providing livelihood to a significant number of households in Tenzal. I do not want to go to the research perspective because it becomes too boring. Okay, the next slide. Now, as you can see, most of you may not know a lot about your puans that you wear, but I have had the privilege and the pleasure to be looking into the social connotations of the cloth that is woven in this state. Okay. So it is very, very intricately intertwined with the socio-cultural ethos of the Mizo society. Okay. Every product has a social cultural connotation, which I will be explaining, because I would be taking you on a tour of the handloom products which are being woven in Mizoram. Now, all of us know that Puan is the, those of you who do not belong to Mizoram, it is the most widely worn ethnic dress in Mizoram. And weaving is known as Puanta, which is derived from the word Puan itself. Now, Puan is like a wraparound. I have mentioned the measurements there, and it is wrapped around, used as a wraparound by the Mizo women, and it is worn for every occasion, festival, weddings, dances, even for mourning. There are certain puans, certain specific designs, colors, which are worn. Now, please excuse my pronunciation. I have tried to I've tried to perfect it, but I might not be pronouncing it the right way. Now, the Puanchei is worn for weddings. Notekere is for festivals. Puandum is worn for mourning. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to explain to you the socio-cultural meanings underlying each and every Puan. Most of you do not know, because I have interacted with many of my students. They do not even know the tribes and the clans of Mizoram. If I ask my students, do you know, if you're a Ralte, to which clan do you belong to, they may not know. Okay, so Puanche is the most colorful dress, or the Puan, which is worn by the Mizo women. Now, as I've explained there, Puan is a cloth, Chei means to decorate, and it literally means a decorated cloth. Now, it is a striped cloth which has a combination of various colors. You have red, you have green, you have yellow, blue, black, pink, and white. Sometimes nowadays, they also interlace it with a little bit of jari. Now, what is more important to understand is the stripes are known as Sakai Zangzia. Okay. Now, Sakai means the tiger. So when you say it, the stripes connote or denote Sakai Zangzia, it means it denotes the stripes of a tiger. Okay. And it is, if you look at it very carefully, it is embroidered with arrowheads and diamonds along the stripes. It also has the cucumber seeds, which are embedded in the design. The yarn usually used nowadays is acrylic, but sometimes wool is also used. And nowadays, silk is being used to weave this particular Puan. And as I told you, it is a wedding costume. Traditionally, this was a dress which was worn by the Mizo brides. So let me tell you before I proceed, when I did my research in Tenzol, I found that 13 products were being woven there. So I am going to explain to you the 13 products which were woven in Tenzol. So you may have many more Puans, but I am going to focus only on those Puans which are being woven there. Okay. Notekere, I think most of them wear it. It is known also as, another word is Puan Shrui. Now, Shrui is a very, very unique weaving technique which is used only in Mizoram by the Mizo weavers. And it is a unisexual dress. Both men and women wear it. As Kulaling Moya just mentioned, it is worn widely for Chapcharkut, Meemkut, and Paulkut, which are the most important festivals in Mizoram. And it is usually worn for the Cherau, the bamboo dance, where you find that the girls dance and the boys beat the bamboos in perfect synchrony. Then you have the senior. Okay. Now, senior is an improvisation. It is a new product. It is a niche product which is woven in Tenzon, and it just depicts, it just reflects the modern Mizo woman's what do you say? Her a dynamism even in the way she carries herself, and it reflects the a modernism in the Puan where it doesn't subscribe to any particular design. It is it has a lot of intricate work, and it is supposed to be a costlier Puan. Okay. Now this is something which you may not know. Many of you. There is a Puan known as a Tallo Puan. Okay. Now this is a Puan which is woven in black with red, white, and yellow stripes. Okay. Now this used to denote, or it symbolizes the tribal warriors' undying spirit for defeating the enemy in the battleground. So when they went to war, or when they returned from the war, the warriors would wear this particular Puan. Then you have the Puandum. I think most of them know about the Puandum. It is, the name itself literally means black cloth. Okay. And traditionally, this Puandum was woven by every Mizo girl and taken in a trousseau, or it is known as tul in Mizoram, to her husband's home. That shows how prevalent the occupation of weaving was. Every home had a loom, and every girl would weave a Puandum and carry it with her in a trousseau to the husband's home when she got married. And unfortunately, if the husband died before her, this would be used to cover her husband's body when he died. Even today, as a mark of respect, you find many of them wearing the Puandum as a mark of respect when they go for mourning for the person who has expired. Okay. Then you have the Puan Ropui. Now this is again a niche product. Ropui means grand, if I'm right. And this is a very, very richly embroidered. It is not embroidered, it's woven. Even the embroidery is woven. Okay. It is not separately embroidered. It is very rich. Actually, it is an improvisation of the senior also. And nowadays, this is being woven a lot in Tenzon. Then you have something known as Puan Lysen. Okay. Now this, again, as I told you, the colors, the combinations are very important. It is similar to the Puan Chei, and it is also used as a wedding costume and for festivals and dances. Okay. Then you have the Puan Xiao. Puan Xiao is also similar to a Puan, but it has certain specific patterns, and it has certain specific colors which are used. All of us are aware of the plain Puan. Puan is the commonly worn dress by every Mizo woman. Plain simply means it is woven in a single color. Okay. Then you have the Korchei. You will find students wearing it to schools these days. It is usually worn with the notoker, especially during festive occasions, and very commonly worn during the Cherao, during the Chapchar Kut, when the Mizos perform the traditional Cherao bamboo dance. Okay. Now, Thang Chokwa, I find many of them wearing these nowadays. On the occasion of Chapchar Kut, you will find that most of them are wearing this Thang Chua cord. Now, what is this Thang Chua cord? The social and cultural connotation of that is, it was supposed to be worn in a particular ceremony, which was performed by the exceptionally brave warriors of the Mizo community. Okay. So the Mizo warrior who has either hosted 2 complete series of a huge communal festival, feast, the Bada Khana, or has killed an entire series of wild animals, attained a certain merit, and he came to be known as Tang Chua Pa. And this particular puan was to be worn as a mark of social status. So you couldn't just wear it. You had to attain a particular status. You had to prove your valor. You had to prove your merit as a warrior to be able to wear this Tang Chua Kor. And I do find my students also wearing it. Along with the Tang Chua Kor, you have the Tang Chua Biar. It is like a turban which is worn on the heads, and this could be worn only by Tang Chua Pa, a person who has been designated as a warrior of merit. But as I told you, nowadays people are wearing it as a shirt, and you find them wearing the DR also as an attire for traditional festivals, dances. Today also, if you go for the festival in the evening, you may find many of them wearing it. But it's important to understand the ethos behind it. Nowadays, in Tenzal also, you find that the bits of puans which are left off after weaving, they are being woven as bags. That's the Iptichei. Iptichei also, they have started, there were certain colors which were used, but nowadays there is a change in color and they're improvising it for the market. You also have the jacket there. This picture has actually been taken in Tenzal. You'll find all the types of puans there. Mostly it is a puan ropui which is visible there. You have the puan chei, and these are certain innovations which are being done. Okay. Now, when you look at the, you may say, why is she showing all this? Okay. Now, you look at the handloom products, you find that it is a rich tradition. It's a knowledge system which is being passed on, transferred from mother to daughter. And this reflects the, as I keep repeating, it is embedded in the tribal socio-cultural ethos, like the Sakai Zangzia of the Puan Chui. Puan Chui, I will not be able to even explain to you what is Puan Chui. And I didn't find the meaning of Puan Chui in any book in any library. I had to get the information from weavers. Okay. Now, if you look, as I told you, the black and white stripes of Notikere, the Puandum, the Tang Chua Kor, the DR, these are all very, very unique to the Mizo tribe. Some of them have got the GI, but many of them have still not got the geographical indication. So this shows the Mizo weavers, it is mostly women, their creativity and traditional knowledge, which they take to a level of precision into these fabrics. Now, when you look at tourism, you have 1 or 2 shops which have been established by the Tenzal cooperative societies. We have 5 cooperative societies there, but you find only 1 or 2 shops in that cluster. So if you want to make it, it's very important to develop Tenzal as a tourist destination. I have written there that you need to project it first and develop it as a tourist destination. We all know that, Juliet, please go to the next slide. We all know that we have the Wanthong waterfalls there, which is a natural attraction for all tourists. There is a golf course there now, as mentioned by Laling Moya also. So along with that, if we can showcase the handlooms to the tourists as an attraction, This will not only contribute to tourism, but it will also contribute to the economic development of the weavers in that particular cluster, which unfortunately is not being done. Okay, and there are a whole lot of things which have to be done. As we have already discussed all that. The roads are not very good there. Now, communication is very important. We need to train people to communicate with people there. There is a concerted effort which is required to develop that as a destination for tourism, which I have been seeing for the last 15 years, which has not been happening. So what the weavers do is they carry all the puans and they bring it to the Bada Bazaar here and sell it. If we could have shops which are specialized, it could be on a PPP model. You have it on a public-private partnership. We do not want to depend on the government alone. On a PPP model, if certain showrooms are developed there, you have a guided tourism to the place where you have the natural tourism attractions already there. You have the man-made tourism, the golf course there, and you also have the cultural tourism, which can be showcased as the handlooms of the state. That's very important, which has not happened. And there is a long way to go. There's a very long way we have to travel to reach that place. Now, why I told you communication is I have been here for 15 years. I know the Mizos more than anybody else. Okay. But at the entry point, when you enter the state, I'm a very honest person and I call a spade a spade. Okay. Now, this time I had just been to Jammu and Kashmir. I returned from Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is a far more troubled state than any state in the country. Okay. But the kind of reception I received there, everywhere, right from the railway station when I got down, there were military people there. It was very intimidating. But the moment I set my foot on that place, they welcomed me as a tourist. They told me, you are a tourist. Our bread and butter depends on you. And therefore, you are like God to us. In Sanskrit, we say, Atithi Devo Bhava. That means a tourist is like a god. There were bunkers all around. There were guns. There were snipers. But the people-to-people communication was so clear. They said, we are here to welcome you and make your stay as good as we can make it for you. Now, when I returned to Aizawl, okay, unfortunately, the moment I came into Lengpui, though I am an employee of Mizoram University, the way they asked me, they're asking all, non-Mizos, come on, get onto one side. Okay, you cannot enter our state. The communication is important. We all know there is an ILP. Okay, now these are things which are not discussed. They have come with the money to pay the ILP fee, but there has to be a level of communication where you can always politely tell them, please stand here, you will have to take the ILP and only then you can enter our state. You never know how many of them are getting rebuffed, how many of them are getting intimidated. I myself had misplaced my identity card and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I was talked to. Okay. I told that person, you can always be polite because I have my identity card. I have been working in Mizoram University for the last 15 years. And of course, I found it and I showed it to him. But I was put in the shoes of those people who are entering the state. And it's quite intimidating. It may be a little harsh. It may be a very blunt statement to make, but training has to start from that level. When you enter the state, what kind of communication is being made to the people? A little bit of politeness. One can speak in English. If we don't know Hindi, if they're not able to speak in English, a little bit of Hindi, at least make them feel welcome. You don't feel that, oh my God, where have I come? Okay. And this is the first time I saw it literally, because I did not have my identity card with me. And then I realized, oh my God, if I had misplaced my MZU identity card, what would I have done? Those kind of question marks should never happen. Okay. Now I'm just going to take you to the tour of Tenzol, the weaving places which you may not have been to. Okay. Juliet, can you just go to the previous slide? The first one. These are all pictures. I'm going to wind up quickly. Yeah, that is an overview of a weaving locality. The next one, please. Okay. This is a typical handloom weaver's home, where you'll find the loom in the veranda, and you'll find the noticare on the loom there. Next. That is the noticare on the loom in the veranda. Next, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is typically how it is. Okay, you'll find the children playing around there, and many a times even helping their mother in weaving. Next. This is typically a weaver at work. Okay, so that is her kitchen. She's also, when she has time off from cooking, she's working on the charka, and she loaded it onto the bobbins now, and then mount it on the loom. Next, please. Okay, this is typically how it is. You can look at the daughter getting the training from her mother, and almost every home has a loom in Tenzol. Now, the previous action was the charka. From there, she's mounted it onto the warping drum, and this will be mounted to the loom. Next, please. That is a shed which has been constructed by the government, known as a Puan Banna, the warping drum. Next, please. That is again a Puan on the loom. The next one. Thank you very much. I made it short and sweet because that's all I have to say. There is a lot of potential, but we have to tap the potential. It's high time we started tapping the potential and stop using words like exploring, potential, etc. So I'll be very happy to answer questions. Thank you very much. Juliet, I'm not able to see the questions, so you may have to just help me out. I don't know what's happened. This has got locked up completely.
Okay, ma'am.
Could you just read it out to me? I don't know what has happened. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ramaswamy, for giving the valuable insight and interesting presentation. And thank you for bringing out the rich culture, heritage, and employment potential of handloom in Northeast India. And thank you for providing a roadmap of Tenzol handloom cluster and analyzing the micro enterprise growth and the entrepreneur and the various growth constraint. And also thank you for pointing out the concrete input to policymakers to develop some strategies related to the sector. And also I would like to thank you for sharing your personal experience. And I know it is very deep and touching, and there is many things, and those are the things I have also been observing, and I am glad to hear it from your perspective. So I think all the participants today also should be aware of how our hospitality, how we treat others. It might not be our communication skills. We have to enrich our communication skills in how we treat others and others from other communities as well. So, and then you can type you can give your questions in the chat box. Okay.
I'm not, oh, okay. Can I see the questions? No. I'm not able to open the chat box. You'll have to help me out, Juliet.
Okay, ma'am. So please post your questions in the chat box. Or if you have a problem, you can just text me or inform any of the organizing committee member. Okay.
I would love to answer questions. Okay. So I'm expecting questions from the participants. Do you have any questions, Juliet? In the chat box, everything has got locked up. I'm just not able to open the chat box.
Oh, and ma'am, it is very interesting even for us. There are many things we are not aware. So it was quite informative. And then, and moreover, I would like to hear from you. What are the measures, initiative taken by the government for the people who are engaged in handloom sector?
See, the schemes, you don't find. See, I'm an academician. I'm not a politician or a government servant. So I can speak my mind on the basis of my evidence which I've collected, data which I've collected. See, I have been observing that cluster for the last 15 years. As I told you, the first time I went to the cluster was in 2008, December, to collect my data. I did not know their language, neither did they know English, but communication was not a barrier at all. Okay. I was welcomed with open arms. I used to eat with them, the weavers. I stayed for 15 days, collected my data. 15 years after, I didn't find any difference. I didn't find any difference on the ground. Okay. So I have a number of papers published. My academic credentials, I would attribute it to the weavers of Tenzon. It is because of them that today my papers are internationally accepted. One of my papers has been shortlisted as the 10 best papers in Michigan University on gender. Okay. But there was a time when I realized that just accumulating my own academic credentials and getting my promotion is not the only aim of my academic work. And therefore, I started this course, the Bivok Handloom Weaver course. I realized as teachers, as academicians, we are the most powerful agents of social change. And I do not have I do not have any political clout. So the only power that I have within me is my knowledge. So I realized, let me start a course. And I started this course thanks to the UGC accepting my proposal. And this is the first course in India and perhaps the entire world. So today I'm proud, after 2 years, our students, the first batch of the BVOC, have incorporated the first handloom producers company limited in Mizoram. It is called the Nathlang Handloom Producer Company Limited. And most of the promoters are weavers from Tenzon. We have developed their skills in marketing, in entrepreneurship. We have honed their skills. They were weavers, they didn't need the technical skills of weaving, but otherwise we have made them entrepreneurs in their own right. And yesterday they got the handloom mark. Handloom mark is the logo that is important. So now it's a fledgling company, and they are getting the required support. They have gone through a UNDP training this last month, a 4-week training by the UNDP. They were selected as the champion entrepreneurs in Mizoram. So now I find that we also have an agency. You have a company which can grow, which becomes an entity. You can have a public-private partnership with the government of India, government of Mizoram, start showrooms there. So I'm expecting that at least now on, with 12 entrepreneurs in Mizoram who are picked up not because of their being born in a particular family or whatever. They are all weavers who came and joined the course, and they have also gained knowledge now. So in another year, they will be the first bachelor degree holders in vocation and handloom weaving in the whole country. So now I find that there will be a difference, because the difference has to come from the bottom. It cannot come from the top. So now I find that another 5 years, I'm expecting huge changes there. Otherwise, just dishing out schemes do not help. In fact, most of them don't have the weaver identity card in Tenzal. They are 3rd, 4th generation weavers. My students have got the weaver identity card just now. They're applying for it. And until you have the weaver photo identity card, I think somebody needs to mute there. So until you have the weaver identity card, like I do not have the Mizoram identity card to enter Lengpui. Similarly, if a weaver does not have the photo identity card, they cannot access any of the government schemes. So as per my research, not even 30% of the weavers in Tenzal have the weaver identity card. It's a huge, huge lacuna. And if I open it, I will be opening a Pandora box. So I think I should stop here.
Thank you, ma'am, for the insightful answer. And I also want to thank you for you have been a blessing for the state and for the handloom sector as well. And I think even in future, the generation will really appreciate what you have done for this sector and your contribution. And now we have some questions.
Yeah, some questions. Yeah, please. The question is very important.
Yeah, Lal Rimtuanga. Ma'am, is the handloom and weaving sector going fine in Tenzal, or it is still a long way to go?
As I told you, it's developing now. Okay. Now we have this Producers Company Limited. They will be getting a number of, like for example, very soon they will have a yarn depot. Okay. Because raw material is a big constraint here. You need to get the raw material from Guwahati, which is sourced from Ludhiana. So that time gap between transporting the yarn and the weaving, that time lag creates a lot of challenges for the weavers. So a number of facilities will come up. They're going to have a common facilities center there. So we have created a batch of say 12, you can say management graduates in weaving who are weavers. So another 5 years, I think there will be a lot of changes. See, the problem with the Mizo community, with the Mizo governance is, very frankly, let me tell you, because I'm in the midst of students, the government officers may not like what I'm saying. Everything becomes a social service. Okay. So if there is one, say a minister, he feels my wife will go and buy puans from there and the economic condition will increase, but it's not sustainable. Okay? Any economic activity is sustainable only if you make entrepreneurs of those weavers and you have to exit. Like we have created this company now and we have exited. They have their own meetings. We are training them to be entrepreneurs and board of directors. So you cannot keep on spoon feeding them, okay, in the name of social service. You have to make the business sustainable, and first you have to reach out to the national markets, regional markets, Northeast. You have to reach out to the national markets and then to the global markets. For that, just buying some 100 puans from somewhere, that doesn't help. So you need a systematic approach. And luckily with the NEP in place, these are the trades we need to develop: weaving, handicraft, and empower them, empower the weavers. They are not somebody who have to be always be given benefits and they take the benefits as alms. They are something that you are ready to give. No, make them independent, make them entrepreneur sustainable. They know their business better than you or me. We may be management graduates, but we don't know what is a puan, how many threads are required to weave. So empower them. Unfortunately, when I did my first time I did my research, I realized that most of the girl children dropped out in class 8. Because by class 8, they became very competent in weaving. So they dropped out of school and they started helping their mother and became full-time weavers. But end of the day, you need formal education for the confidence. So they became weavers, but they do not have the formal education nor the confidence. And then you get exploited by the master weavers or the middlemen. That's a vicious circle which I tried to break. Still, we need weaving skills. We have a government school in Tenzal. They should be introducing weaving in class 6 to 8 standard. So that after 8, they complete their class 10, 12 and come to us in the university to get a degree. As simple as that. So that vicious circle has to be broken, according to me. That will take another 10 years.
Ma'am, there are some few questions.
Yes, please.
David Lathan has asked, Madam, how does the role of dress reflect and shape culture interaction?
How does the
role of dress reflect and shape culture interaction?
I'm not able to. Role of what? I didn't understand that particular word.
The role of dress, the reflect the shape and the culture. Yes.
Dress is an integral part of any society. Okay. And in tribal societies, as I have already, that's why it took such a long time to explain to you. Even the designs reflect nature's bounty. It reflects the knowledge. These are traditional knowledges which are passed down generations. It's a repository of knowledge which is created by a particular society, okay, and which cannot be imitated by anybody else. So that is also a knowledge system which has been developed, which needs to be guarded, which needs to be protected by geographical indication. Now, say, for example, you have a number of Burmese coming into the state. And if you don't know, the Burmese also wear puans. Okay. Similar dresses worn by them. If they copy your designs and sell it somewhere else, you cannot challenge them, because if you don't have a GI, you cannot, it's a knowledge, it's like an invention, the design. Okay. And we cannot trivialize it. And if I remember in the Commonwealth Games, there was a Naga girl, the Naga platoon. The girl was wearing a puan chei with the indicating the state of Nagaland. And some of the Mizos just got up and said, oh my God, this is our puan chei. How is she wearing a puan chei? Okay. So these are all traditional knowledge systems which are created by the society. Okay? And I think I've explained every color and all the nuances of the knowledge which is reflected in the cloth. We have to recognize it. There is where we have gone wrong. We are not recognizing it as a part of the culture. Yes, any more questions?
Yes, ma'am. Just questions from what we Thangte. Ma'am, what are the issues faced in Tanzol handloom? How can we solve the handloom weavers? The problems of the handloom weavers?
Host of problems. Okay. They have marketing problems, they have financial problems, they have production problems, they have host infrastructural problems. Okay. So you can read my book. That is an entire thesis on Tanzol. Host of problems. I'll take another hour to be explaining those problems. Right from the roads, everything is a problem there. Marketing, as I told you.
And ma'am, here we have an interesting question. Ma'am, what is the market for men in handloom sector?
See, the market is, the sky is the limit. Okay. Now, after our students incorporated this producers company, they have gone to 3 places, 3 exhibitions, even during COVID times. Okay. So they went to Guwahati. They made a huge sales there. It was a Lookie's business show, which was sponsored by the Department of Vivok. Again, they went to Aga Khan Convention Center in Delhi. They have also gone to Delhi Haat in Delhi. They are going next month to Mumbai for an Exim Bazaar, an international bazaar. So handlooms, but you have to reach out. The market is there, but you have to connect with that market. Okay, those people may not wear your puans. You will have to improvise there. Okay? Maybe the stoles will sell, the shawls will sell, the bags will sell, because they may not wear puan. Don't change your designs. Improvise on the utility of the product. And immense market. The whole globe is a market. But we are isolated. We have to reach out to those markets. That's our endeavor.
And ma'am, there's some questions from Ramdin Moi Fanai. How can government help the weavers to improve their economic condition, especially during this pandemic period? I think ma'am has answered some of the questions.
See, one more thing, let me tell you, we are all students of business. I think all the students must be, I'm sure they're all management and business school students, isn't it, Juliet? It's high time we stop looking at the government. Okay? Let us empower ourselves. You know, you go to Gujarat in Anand, and they don't look at the government anymore. If the roads are damaged, the farmers repair the road. The government is asking them for help. Can you please contribute some money to improve our roads? So I think that mindset has to be removed. Empower yourself, educate yourself, become entrepreneurs, train yourselves in skill development. And because last 15 years I've seen, there's no point. By the time the scheme comes, there is no need for that scheme at all. The time has gone. So it's better that we don't look up to the government anymore. Let us empower ourselves through education, real education, not by making PowerPoints or anything. Okay. Now our pedagogy is, somebody asked me, what did we do during COVID? Now during COVID, our weavers had a lot of problem in Tanzol because there was lockdown everywhere. Okay. And as a pedagogy, I realized I don't want them to take up a job in the government. They have to become entrepreneurs. So we have some students who have completed their class 12 from Government Mamoi High Secondary School in apparel and garment stitching. So these students in Aizawl, we bought the yarn from textile department, transported it through Sumo to Tenzal. The weavers there wove the puans, pure cotton. They sent it to Aizawl through Sumos. They stitched we stitched, the students here stitched the mask, and we bought raw material for 7,500 rupees. And you know the outcome? They had a sales turnover of 1.5 lakhs because these were handmade, pure cotton, woven masks, and it's sold everywhere in India. And that was a pedagogy. So that was your introduction to entrepreneurship. The next step was they incorporated their own confidence. It gave them confidence. Okay. So we have to change the pedagogy also. Just by teaching them some theories of entrepreneurship, you cannot create entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs have to take the plunge. They have to enter deep waters and learn to swim. So I think we should stop looking at the government. That's my attitude. I don't know how many of you will agree.
And ma'am, there are few questions, but I think you have answered many of the questions, which is like, what are the steps taken for the young weaver to develop their skills? And there are some questions which also ask the challenges faced by the Natlang Producer Company Limited in exposing and promoting their products in other parts of the country. Is there anything you want to?
Yes. See, what we are doing there is we are hand-holding them. Okay. Now, what do you need to export? The first thing you need is to have the handloom mark. Okay. That is the logo of authenticity. So it is like, taking a baby along the steps. So the baby has just stood up now, Natlang Producers Company. So we are holding the hands. So you cannot export until you have the handloom mark. So they have the handloom mark today. We have created e-portals for them, the e-shilp portal. We are giving them opportunities to go to Mumbai. Let them go and find out now what the customer needs. Customer is the king. You cannot imagine what the customer wants. That's the biggest mistake we do. Okay. So once they went to Guwahati, they realized that the puans don't sell. When I told them, they did not understand what I'm saying. They realized that the puans all came back. So now they are stitching curtains, they are stitching upholstery, they are stitching pillow covers, bed sheets, bags, the Jola type bags, which you don't need too much of design. So now they have a feel of the market. Once they go to an international fair, they will get a feel of the international market as well. Unfortunately, none of them ever got an opportunity to go to any exhibition outside Mizoram. Okay. This is the first time weavers are getting an opportunity to go outside the state. The maximum they have traveled was only up to Aizawl. So there were schemes, but it never took wings. Those were the weavers in Aizawl who would go to Netfi, Netfi Haat as well as Delhi Haat. But now once they have started going out, they will learn. We are going to have workshops for a month each, sponsored by Exim Bank. They will be going to NID, National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad, as well as NIFT, Ahmedabad. I don't want them to go to NIFT, Shillong or Guwahati. Okay. So we've got the sponsorship. We are introducing computer-aided textile design courses. We have got sponsorship from the Exim Bank in Mumbai. So we have to now take it forward. It's not easy. You cannot just expose them into the export market without giving them going through these steps. But any of you after the COVID is over, please do come to our university and look at our lab. This is the first lab in the country. No university has set up a handloom lab. So we have 5 looms and we are weaving. We are also going to take some products as a department, make some money. I hope I've answered all of you.
Yes, ma'am, I have one more questions, like which says, what makes you so interested about one handloom?
See, when I was in IIE, as I told you, it reflects your culture. Okay. The more I started, the more I started probing into the designs, that took me to your real culture. Okay. So you can say that was my window to the Mizo culture, and I was fascinated by it. I was so fascinated. Like as I told you, when I went and, I found out how many tribes are weaving there. That's when there's a very good book by Verghese and Tanzana. I don't know whether you have it in your library. They are the only ones who have actually described every tribe. Okay. So I came to know what is a commoner's tribe, what is a chief's clan, and what are the other sub-clans of the Mizo society. So I was just fascinated by your culture. And it just made me, go deeper and deeper into the culture and understand the real Mizo ethos.
Okay, ma'am, there is one last question. So
Yes.
after this, we won't be taking up questions. So there's a question from Dr. Rursat Tokjum. Ma'am, from your study, you can say the handloom sector can bring empowerment of women individually, as well as bringing financial freedom in the long run.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Without, what is happening nowadays, many of the weavers are shifting into other professions. Okay. So, like, what is the need for a weaver to go for? I have a student of mine, okay, who was pursuing a BA in political science in Government Aizol College. She's a 4th generation weaver of Henzol, Lalin Zwali. The moment she came to know that we have introduced a course, she quit that course and came to this course. Because, and when her mother came and came for the admission, it was as if she's going to the IIM. She was so happy. She said, ma'am, I want my daughter to do this course. And she's also very, very passionate about weaving. So without, displacing them from their own occupation, let us empower them in their own occupation. And you never know, tomorrow they may be very, very popular and famous entrepreneurs in Mizoram. Yeah, I agree. I feel that that is the only way. And this skill development that we're talking about, it should be oriented towards skilling the artisans of the state and even the country.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for answering all our questions. And if you have more questions, regarding the courses in the university, you can visit the university and the university lab as well. Okay.
Yes,
So
definitely. Okay.
now we will move on to our final speaker, Dr. Namrata Singh Pawar. So Dr. Namrata Singh Pawar is an assistant professor at the Department of Economics, Government Degree College, Uttarakhand. She completed her bachelor and master in economics from Banasthali University, Rajasthan, and she was awarded gold medalist in the bachelor and master degree. So she joined School of Economics, University of Hyderabad for her PhD, and she worked on urban economics and on residential satisfaction for the beneficiaries in government initiative. She also worked on migration and public policy in India. In 2008, she joined Niti Aayog, a central government organization, as a young professional and was promoted to consultant grade 1. In Niti Aayog, she worked on water, land, sanitation, tourism, and culture sector, and has She also have an extensive experience in policy formation, strategy development, and monitoring. And some of the key projects on which she worked includes the flood strategy of India and National Water Policy 2020, and review of irrigation sector and performance assessment of irrigation project in India, and strategy at 75 for India and Vision 2035 for India. So, and she recently joined her current post as an assistant professor on April 2021. So I call upon our speaker, Dr. Namrata Singh Pawar, to present on the theme Northeast Tourism, Opportunity and Hurdles. Over to you, Namrata ma'am.
I think I am audible correctly.
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Juliet, and thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. Thank you so much, PC sir, and all the participants to be there. And I would really like to, like, last two sessions were fantastic, like eye opener kind of thing. And I don't think so. There's much to add on, but I would like to do all the things which I can do in this time period. And thank you so much for calling me over here. So, like, due to heavy rains in Uttarakhand, the network over here is little tricky. So I would request Juliet to share the presentation over here, and then we can go ahead. Yeah. So this is the presentation, and let's go through it. So yeah, for the starting, if we think about tourism and like why tourism, like why it was so important for the university and you people to understand about tourism, and why it is important for all of us to understand about tourism. So let's start from the national level first, and then we will get down into the Northeast and what we are going to talk about, particularly about Northeast. So, what's the importance of tourism? Why we are having this international webinar on tourism, and why it is important? Like, from the starting, from the crux, if we are thinking, then why tourism? Like, why so much efforts on tourism? And in 2020, the pandemic hits us, and then there was lots of discussion that this happening, people are dying and all that. And after that, I think the most important thing in the employment reason was like tourism sector is getting down. So why so much talk about tourism? Why tourism important, and why we need to go to this space and this thing and over here? So if we start, then first of all we have to think and we have to know about that. What is India as a country has for tourism? Like, do we have literally have potential or what? Like, so if we discuss, if we see India as a whole, then India is a, like, you must have heard this dialogue so many times that India is a place for diversity. India is a country of diversity. Like, we have so many things over here. And if you see that we have 170 kilometers of our beach line, we have we have Himalayas, and at the same point of time we have Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, and Bay of Bengal. At the same point in time we have Thar, one of the biggest driest region of the entire world, and at the same point of time we have Northeast, densely forested area. And so what is it there which we don't have as a nation? Like, that's why we are a kind of mini subcontinent. We are like South Asian regions and all these things. Like, we are called a kind of one of the subcontinents, because actually India has each and every feature and every resources which a country needs to survive. So that's why it doesn't count into the development only, but it also count into the part of here, like what people can come and see in India. Like, why people have to come from foreign, and even from in the, if we are talking about the domestic tourism, then why we have to go? Because we have each and every feature. We have forest, we have beaches, we have mountains, we have deserts, we have plateaus, we have Ladakh kind of things, and where we have iced plateaus, we have highest peak, second highest peak of the world in India. So India as a whole is a place where we can find anything to see. And if somebody is in India, like the land of diversity, every 25 kilometers, the language is changing, cuisine is changing, and culture is changing. And we have so much diverse culture. Like we have so much of the religion and everything which a tourist want to see, whether it's a solo traveler or a family traveler, or any kind of traveler. That kind of traveler can find anything in India, anything and everything in India. So that's why I think it's very important to tap upon the potential. And if we are not tapping upon the potential, then we are the biggest fools over here. So right now, that's why we have to understand why we have to go into the tourism. So what is the importance of tourism? That's the first slide which I have put over here. So like there are a number of importance of tourism, like number of things over here. But there I have put on 3-4 things over here, and let's discuss those. First of all, we talk about employment. Like the next slide also talks about India only. So let's start from here. The employment generation. No, Juliet, the first slide only. Yeah, first slide only first. Yeah. So the employment generation and boost of the economic activities. If I tell you in 2022, according to Ministry of Tourism, there are 31.8 million people were employed in tourism sector. And what consists of tourism sector? Transportation, hotels, and stays, and what we call heritage sites, and all these things. It's like 3.8 billion people were having jobs in tourism sector in India, which was around 7.3% of our total employment. Like you can understand, the 7.3% of our total employment comes from tourism. That's why it's very important to talk about tourism. And it is like forecasted that by 2029 it would be 53 million jobs from tourism sector alone. So yeah, we have to think about tourism. We have to say talk about tourism, how to boost it up, and we have to talk about the situations like pandemic, which were like a blow to our economy and biggest blow to our tourism. So we have to talk about all these things and how tourism boosts the economic activities. Obviously, if it is giving the employment, it is like it is giving up the consumption, it is giving money into the pockets of the people. It's somewhere they have to spend it, and where they have to spend it, they have to do for the consumptions. It will be investments, and if money is in the economy, obviously the economic activities will be boosted in the economy. The next point would be infrastructure development. So what's there about infrastructure development? Like if tourism is needed for infrastructure development, or infrastructure development is needed for the tourism, it's the two-way round thing. Like understand the situation. A very beautiful waterfall is nearby you, and you know that it's a beautiful place and people will love to get over here, and this particular waterfall will turn around the whole economy of the region, or that particular town, or that particular village. But there is no accessibility to that place. Like people have to travel around 8 to 10 hours to get to their place. People don't. People, like in India or somewhere else, there are very less people which go on the tracks, or there are very less number of people who want to do the journey of discomfort. So if there is no accessibility to the place, and if there are no places to live nearby it, and there are no transport to be get there, then of course that place can't be developed from the point of way of tourism. So yeah, infrastructure development is also important for development of tourism or development of a country. The next point is foreign exchange generation, a very important point. We know that for what is the situation of our trade of like international trade and balance of payment, and we require all the kind of foreign exchange which we can get it. And tourism, a very in next slide we'll see it, but tourism a very big generator of the foreign exchange for us. Like foreign tourists arrived over here in India, they spend their money over here, and the more the people come from outside, the more kind of currencies we have, the more of the foreign exchange we have, and we have to encourage them to spend more somehow over here. Like if they're coming over here, we have to encourage them to spend more, so that more of the foreign exchange can be brought into the India. The last point, which always like they should be the last point, but moreover the point over is the induces consumption and motivates for the global standards. Like there was an example over here, like a small US couple, they traveled to a small village of Andhra somewhere, Andhra or Telangana now, I don't remember, but it was just a thing that they traveled over there just for the sake of tourism, and they were just a tourist over there, but they went there and they found out the immense potential of that place to generate like solar energy, and they just invested into it. Like they were tourists over there, but they just invested into it, and then this is again a source of employment and source of earning for those people over there right now. So these kinds of things happens, and when people from outside come over to your place and people from the entire world, they don't, it's not only a person which is coming, it's the ideas, it's the patterns, it's the whole culture of that person which is coming to you, and it's up to you that you want to learn or that not. And people do learning, sharing, learning, and all these things, these are the basis of urbanization or basis of anything to grow. So these kinds of things happens, and this push us to go for the global standards, this go push us to go for the higher things in which we are right now. So in this way, we can see that how tourism is very, very important for us. And as far as India is concerned, so India has immense potential for tourism, immense potential for tourism. According to UN body, out of 185 countries of the world, India was ranked 10th for the contribution of travel and tourism in the GDP, which is across 10% in India, more or less 9 to 10% in India. So if we were out of 185, we were on the 10th position. And this is the fact when we are not harnessing our full potential. Full potential, we are not harnessing even 10% of our potential. This is the fact is then. And if we go for with the World Heritage Sites in India, we have 40 World Heritage Sites in India, and I think one of the largest like in the world. So 40 World Heritage, like 19 states or Union Territory out of 36, 19 states and Union Territories have these World Heritage Sites. In Northeast Assam, something which is really, really encouraging for us, and still we are not harnessing much of this potential. So let's go on the next slide and we see what is the situation in India. Yeah, so this is tourism in India 2020. This data will be the Ministry of Tourism data, and then this is 2020, and we're getting on the 19th one, but 2019, this will be the data of 2019, but published in 2020. So here we can see the contribution to GDP is around 10%. Like travel and tourism contribute around 10% to our GDP. And what, like there are some simple terms and terminologies which I have to get over to you, what is ITA, what is FTA, what is DTA, and all these things, and I will let you know about these terminologies. So yeah, so here it is. So now there are two terms: foreign tourist arrivals and international tourist arrivals. Okay, and there's difference between both of them. The foreign tourist arrivals are the foreign individuals which are coming to our India, and they are foreign individuals. They are not NRIs. The foreign individuals. FTAs, the foreign tourist arrival into the India plus NRI arrival to the India, give us to the total international tourist to the India. So international tourist arrival to the India will be the summation of foreign tourist arrival and arrival of non-resident India to the country. So, and so this is ITA. ITA is international tourist arrival, FTA is foreign tourist arrival, and ITRs will be international tourist receipts, like how much receipts we are getting in India. So if we see that in the contribution of tourism and travel industry to our GDP is nearly 10%. And if we see in out of all over India, the share of out of all of the world, the share of India in international tourist arrival is 1.59. Means out of the all international tourists which are going all over the world, 1.59% are coming to the India, which is very less. 1.59%, literally 1.6%, which is very, very less, looking at the potential India has. And out of the total international tourist receipts, like how much they pay out of their pockets to the or the countries, and how much the world is getting out of this tourism sector, the share of India is 1.3%. 1.3%, which is again very, very, very less, looking at the potential of the India. So there are the graphs over here which can tell you that how much were the inbound tourism. Inbound tourism means people coming to the India, and outbound tourism from the India will be people going out of the India for travel and tourism purposes. So here you can see about 2020, 2019 and 2018 data over here. So where 2020 is drastically low because of the pandemic thing. So over here you can see that how much is the foreign tourist arrival and how much is the NRI arrival and total of the international tourist arrival over here. Now look at the purpose why people come to India. Like in tourism also there are lots of purposes. So over here, so what are the purpose that the foreign nationals are arriving to India? So leisure, holiday and recreation, it is around 58% people are coming to India for leisure, holiday and recreation, which is very good because it's the sector where they are spending more. So it's very good thing that people are coming for leisure, holiday and recreation in India. Indian diaspora includes NRIs and people living outside the India. So they come for like visiting family over here or something like that. They are like 14%, nearly 13.9%. For business purposes, like if we will go forward for the types of tourism, then there will be a MICE tourism over there, like meeting and incentives and conferences type. So business and professional, for business and professional purposes, people like it is like 11.7% of the foreign nationals are coming to India. Medical, very specifically for medical, like you will not expect any US citizen or UK citizen to come to India for medical purposes, but you can expect Sri Lankan people, you can expect Bangladesh people, you can expect Afghanistan people, and you can expect Myanmar people to come to India for medical purposes. So these are the purposes for the people coming into the India. And if we see the last chart, then you will see that from where people are coming to India. It's very important to note over here that nearly 20% of our foreign nationals which are coming to India are coming from Bangladesh. And the main purpose over here is medical, because medical facilities in Bangladesh are not such good as in India. So they are coming for medical tourism in India. So nearly 20% of our foreign nationals are from Bangladesh, which is coming. And after that is United States with 14.36%, then UK, and then Canada, the Russian Federation, Australia, and France, and all that. Why it is important to know this thing? It's why it is very important to know that from where people are coming, because the origin of the foreign tourist arrival in India will tell us that how much they are going to spend. If people are coming from the high-end countries like US and UK, obviously we will be getting earning in pounds and dollars, and they will be spending more in India in this sense. But if people are coming from Bangladesh, obviously the receipts in form of foreign exchange will be low. So this is also a point of consideration, that if people are coming, not like we have to attract people from high-end countries, not like we have to ignore people from developing countries or something like that, but we have to put in effort to attract more people from high-end countries so that they can spend more in India and we can get more kind of foreign exchange in India. Coming on the next part of this slide, if domestic, we are talking about top 5 states in domestic tourist visits in India. So they are like, if we see about the, no, the last slide only, Julie. Yeah, this one only. I think it's not visible, but I can tell you. So the top 5 states for domestic tourist visits in India are Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. Like people inside the India, they want to visit these states, which are Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. Like domestic tourism is high in these kinds of states. And if we talk about foreign nationals, so foreign nationals like to visit Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, and West Bengal. So, and most important thing to see over here is that all these states, why foreign tourist visits are high in these states only? Because all these states have very good international airports. They have very good, there's international airport in West Bengal, they have in Delhi international airport, they have in Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu and UP. So they have very good international airports. And that's why this is the main reason that foreign tourist visits in these states are quite high. So we have to think about this matter also, that if we have to attract foreign tourist visits to another part of India, then we have to create more infrastructure in terms of transportation, in terms of airports, so that more foreign visits can be accommodated over there. So let's go to the next slide. Here we are talking about specifically about northeastern region of India and what kind of tourism, what is the status of tourism in northeastern region of India. So let's talk about first about the northeastern region of India. The northeastern region of India has very peculiar geography, you know, dense forest, mighty rivers, and a kind of geographical isolation. Why a geographical isolation? If we see, like, okay, we will talk about the geographical isolation later because we have another topic in that also. So let's first see the status of northeastern states in tourism in India. So there's a very good table over here from the Ministry of Tourism, which shows the percentage of share of DTV is domestic tourist, and FTVs are the foreign tourist visitors over here. So if we see the domestic tourism, and so the highest number of domestic tourists in within Northeast are coming into which state? We can see it's rank number 26. It's no, rank number 22. It's Assam. Most of the domestic tourist visits are into Assam and then in Sikkim, and then I think it's Meghalaya. But look at the ranks. These ranks are given not for the Northeast region. These are the overall Indian rank. And look at that, none of them are in single digits. None of them are in single digits. We are talking about single digits. None of them in 19 or 11 or something like that. We are more and more in 20s and 30s. So this is the point, like such a enriched region, and look at the ranks over here. And why are these ranks are there? Like if you see Arunachal Pradesh in domestic tourist visits, it's 30th rank, and it's a beautiful place to be in. So, and if we see in foreign tourist visits, then we can see that Sikkim attracts more foreign tourist visits in northeastern region, followed by sorry, Tripura. Tripura is the place. Tripura is the state which surprisingly which have more forest visits. And maybe it's because, this is my analysis and the thing, maybe it's because it has a large sharing border with Bangladesh, and most of our foreign tourist visitors are coming from Bangladesh. So maybe it is the reason that Tripura has this high rank for foreign tourist visits in this northeastern regions, followed by Sikkim. And Sikkim, why Sikkim? Because Sikkim is a place for Buddhist tourism, religion tourism over here on this place. So these are the ranks, and this is very pathetic to see over here that such a enriched region, which has religion, which has flora and fauna, which has mighty rivers and beautiful places to be in. And most of the ranks are in 20s, late 20s and 30s. So this is something which is pathetic over here to see over here. Next thing, if we say the share of northeastern states in foreign tourist arrivals of India. So what is the share of northeastern states in foreign tourist arrivals in India? It's just 1.1%. Like out of total people, foreign tourist people coming to India, the number of people visiting to northeastern region is just 1.1%. And if we see that out of the total domestic arrivals of India, the number of people going to Northeast is only 0.4%, more than, even less than the foreign tourist arrivals. Like if we can see, like Sir said in the first lecture, like first thing, first webinar lecture, he said that we need to focus more into the foreign tourist arrivals, because it seems like that sorry, domestic tourist arrivals, because it seems like foreign tourists have more knowledge of northeastern part of India than the domestic tourist. Domestic tourism is very less in northeastern states of India. Number of centrally protected monuments in the northeastern region are 83, which for all over India, it's nearly 3,691 nearly. Yeah, you can say 3,700. And out of 3,700, the number of centrally protected monuments in Northeast region is 83, which is also again less. So let's go on to the another slide. So why, what we saw in the last slide, why something like that is happening over in Northeast? Why domestic tourism is so less? Why foreign tourist arrival ratio in India, if we talk about in comparison of India to Northeast, is so less? Why? What are the hurdles of growth of tourism in Northeast, specifically if we talk about? So first point, which Sir also made a very good point. Most of these points will be covered by Sir in the first presentation only. But let's talk it about again. Lack of infrastructure and communication bottlenecks in the region. Of course, Sir has also admitted that northeastern region somehow is lacking in kind of infrastructure which can attract tourism into the region or something like that, and there will be some communication bottlenecks also. And apart from that, if I know, if I learned it when I was doing some preparation for this presentation only, then only I learned about the permit system. I didn't know that there were some permit systems in northeastern region, but there were ILP inline permit and one more permit. Let me tell you what permit it was. It was I've written it somewhere. Yeah, inner line permits and protected area permits. Inner line permits are for the Indian citizens who want to go into the states like Arunachal, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur, and Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep, let's leave about Lakshadweep over here. So for the Indian citizens, they have to get inner line permits to get into these states first before have to. And protected area permits are for foreign nationals, which is very difficult to get. Very difficult to get. Protected area permits are for foreign nationals to get into these areas. So whenever you, it's a history, it's a taken history that whenever there are permits and whenever there are hurdles like this to get into the regions, obviously tourism will not flourish. This kind of, yeah, I understand states have their own concerns about ILPs, but from the point of view of tourism, it is hard. It is a hurdle for tourism. It is a hurdle for tourism. If we go for geographical isolation, so in the right hand side, you can see a map. I have put it over there. So you can see the actual point of northeastern area over here. Northeast is entirely like surrounded by the nations like China, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and it's very sad to see that apart from Bhutan, India doesn't have very good relationship with other three neighbors. We don't have. With China, though, we all know what is the situation. Myanmar has military insurgency right now. Bangladesh also some recent things are going on, which I don't want to comment on, but these things are going on. And if the region, even the region is so beautiful or secure or something like that, but if the region is surrounded by neighbors where some insurgencies are going on and some inner insurgencies are also going on, then obviously people don't want to don't feel safe in going these regions because of these kind of things. Like if there's a place like you want to go to Arunachal Pradesh, then you have to think about China over there and something like that. So if a region is surrounded by such neighbors or something like that, obviously people have problem to get into the place. So because of this geographical isolation part comes over here. Also, I will also say that there was always a lack of integrated policy on the part of central government for the growth and development of northeastern region. Like maybe recently they are working on it, but the integrated policy for the growth, overall growth of region, maybe it's tourism or maybe, but there was always a lack of policy from the government side also, because of all these, like lack of infrastructure, communication, geographical position of the state. Again, the investment opportunities are lacking in the region, and because of that only there's infrastructure lack. So there's a vicious circle over here. Because of lack of infrastructure, there is no investment. No investment, there's no low infrastructure. So because of these things, and actually we all know that anybody who wants to invest their money, they want to invest in the place which is safe, secure, and have lots of other things to back up his investment, his or her investment. But if region is not having these kinds of facilities, then it would be hard to get investment in these kinds of things. If we get into the next point, lack of market research. Okay, if we get for the lack of market research on the tourism in the region, so yeah, I will say it. And these things are not for what we call, not only for India. No, it's not for, not only for northeastern part of the India, but overall for India. It is there. The lack of market research on the tourism. There is lack of advertisement, online advertisement, and networking and publishing of materials, and lack of documentation and protection of heritage. It's for all over India, not only for northeastern region itself. There is an example. There was a festival was going on New York, and all over the governments were governments from all over the world were invited to put up on their stalls for tourism into the in New York. And there was an example. There's a stall was put up from Incredible India site in that festival. And when some of the people visited there, there was the first hand reports from there that when people were visiting the stalls of all other nations were like highly populated, and they were having virtual tours of their country and having whole brochures and everything. But the stalls of India, they don't even have the people to welcome the visitors over there. So this is something which we have to change our policies. We have to do market research of the tourism. We have to tell people that what we have got, and Northeast region has got ample of natural beauty. We have, people don't know what Northeast has. People don't know. People even don't know that the biggest Buddhist monastery in India is Tawang. So people don't know these things. So we have to tell them there should be a lot of market research. There will be a lot of advertisement and marketing and networking in this region. And there's like, if I say that only, I talked about that Assam has three, Assam has two, and Sikkim has one World Heritage Site. But if we see the sites in northeast part, the state protected heritage, but nobody know about that. There are a number of palaces, there are a number of temples over there, but nobody know about that. Why? Because we have not done the ample of advertisement. So these kinds of things works over there. If because I can tell you these things because I have worked with central government, and I told you that these kinds of things works over there. So these are the things which are working there that people don't know about Northeast, and I think this is because of less of advertisement or something like that. So yeah, so ma'am, we'll get into the things later on. So for the next slide, yeah. So these were the hurdles, but again, areas of potential for tourism. So what will be the areas of potential for tourism in Northeast? Like ma'am has already told about the tribal culture or the traditional crafts over here. So like if I say so, there are, I think if I'm not wrong, there are, I think, in like like the huge potential for tribal culture in northeastern region. Because if I say that northeastern region is the homeland for the large number of tribes that live at like I think in 2019 I've seen this document. There was 145 tribal communities, out of which 78 are very large ones, having population more than 5,000, which are around 12% of the tribal population of India. and 25% of the total population of northeastern region. So every tribe has a different kind of culture, a different festival, a different kind of art. So every tribe gives us a different preview towards the other kind of things, and different things like different peek into the culture and more potential for the tourism. Eco villages, like what are the eco villages? Like if for before eco villages, we have to talk about eco tourism. What we talk about the ecotourism. Ecotourism is some kind of responsible kind of tourism where we talk about carrying capacity of the region. Like if you see, so like if you say so, then last year you must have heard about the thing which happened in Shimla and Nainital, that people didn't have water to drink over there because so many travelers were there, and the resources were so less over there that people even didn't have water to drink over there in Shimla, and they ran out of water that like in the peak tourist season over there. So this is not a kind of sustainable development or sustainable tourism we are talking about. So what is the solution out of it? We have to shift our people to another places. Why everybody has to go to Shimla? Why everybody has to go to Nainital? When we have beautiful, beautiful places in Northeast, when we have beautiful, beautiful places in other part of the countries. I think I'm not comparing, but the untapped potentials of Northeast. If people will come to the Northeast, they will shocked to see that the kind of natural beauty Northeast has. So why we have to all gather in one places? Why we have to be there only? Yeah, there are a number of concerns that they have infrastructure and all that, but we have to work on shifting tourism in sustainable way to the places which have a large carrying capacity. And it doesn't mean that we are shifting tourism to the new places that we have to go for the unsustainable kind of type tourism. No, we can have ecotourism over there. We are sustainable, dependent. A responsible kind of tourism where we have recyclings, where we less use of the plastic or something like that. So Northeast, I think, have very, very good potential for ecotourism. The number of palaces and temples in Northeast, ample of palaces and temples in Northeast, Kamakya Devi, Bhubaneswari Devi and all that. There's lot of potential for the religion based tourism in Northeast. Buddhist culture, as I said about Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, and Assam, they are known for the Buddhist culture over there. So the people, the Buddhist people from not only India but from all over the world, they can be attracted to this place. They have lots of potential for this thing. Traditional craft, ma'am has given the whole presentation of the traditional craft. I was so amazed to see that we have such kind of traditional crafts in India, in northeastern region. Museums and village culture centers and bamboo and tea plantations. Obviously, the what we call the front point of Northeast, bamboo and tea plantations. It's known for bamboo and tea plantation in the whole of the world. Why can't it be a potential for tourism in that region? So these are the potential areas for tourism in northeastern region, and what we can do about that. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are the some kind of steps which we, but before these steps, I need to tell you about the different kind of tourisms that we have. We have ample kind of tourisms, like ample. If I want to list it down, I have listed it down over here. There is wellness tourism, like, and Kerala is doing very good in wellness tourism. Like people go there, there are resorts where they, and Kerala and Uttarakhand especially are doing very good in wellness tourism, where there are resorts where they go for yoga or traditional kind of medical therapies or something, where they just go to relax or something like that. Wellness tourism kind of thing. Adventure tourism. Northeast has immense potential for adventure tourism. Cycling, rafting, or bike tours, or something like that, or mountain climbing, or something like that. Northeast, immense potential for that. We have medical tourism over in India. Like obviously, the flora and fauna of Northeast is so rich that traditional medical facilities and traditional medical herbs in Northeast are very good. So medical tourism can be an important point which can be encouraged in Northeast. Again, ecotourism we have talked about, cultural tourism we have talked about, religion-based tourism, Buddhist, and all, even Hindu tourism and all these things can be encouraged in the Northeast region of the India. So there is also something known as sports tourism. We know that Northeast is a treasure for a saucer, like football and everything. Like, so we can develop our infrastructure accordingly to that, and we can encourage people from India and out of the India to come to the Northeast for football and all kind of events like cricket is doing for India. We can the same thing can be done for football in Northeastern region. There is film tourism. There's film tourism, like beautiful places of Northeast, like Hollywood and other film industries can come for their shootings and all these things in Northeast, and it will be a very good generator of money for Northeastern region and all that. There is cruise tourism, like cruise tourism doesn't only talk about the tourism in the ocean, but we also under cruise tourism we talk about the cruises which work on the river. There's a mighty river of Brahmaputra in Northeast, in Brahmaputra or other rivers which can be used for cruise tourism and all that. And these are the kind of tourism which we can be encouraged in Northeast, and especially a MICE tourism. The full form of MICE is meeting, incentive, conference, and events. Like we have to build up the convention centers, we have to build up the meeting halls or the big points, like because these kind of the things which attracts or encourage the investors to come into the region. They will come into the region, they will keep their meetings, and they like Singapore is a very good MICE tourism place over here. And in India it's Delhi and Hyderabad, like conventional centers are all over there, and people keep their meetings over there. And why it is important? Because people will come for the business, they want to go for a tour, and then they will also find the investment opportunities over the region. So these are the kind of we need to explore new kind of tourism in the region. We need to develop our infrastructure for that, and for that we also need some community involvement. We need to encourage the community that okay, like ma'am has already told about her experience, so we have to do our best to avoid these kinds of experience into the region. Community has to be aware about the tourism in the country, and would be so welcoming about that. And again, we have to talk about the efforts of education on tourism and related sector. If we say about there are 8 Indian Institute of Travel and Tourism Management in India, there are 8 institutes of like that. IIT, ATMs, we have said. They're in Noida, Bodh Gaya, and Bhubaneswar, and all that. None of them are in Northeastern region. So we have to encourage the education. We have to bring on. We have to tell people that what kind of employment they can get in tourism. How can they be really skilled for that kind of things. We have to encourage our national archaeology and historical insights into it. And lastly, if we have the problem, and we have the problem of finance in the sector of tourism, because tourism is not a sector which can be financed only by government, not at all. We have to bring into the PPPs, private sector, into the private public partnership into this sector. Because if, for example, if I tell you, then building of ropeways, it's a very heavily invested activity. So we can't just ask government to be the part of that thing and heavily invest heavy investments, what kind of things which we need. Private sector can make money out of it. They know how the strategies for that. So I think public private partnership in the field of tourism finance can actually help in getting all these things. Next slide, please. So there are some small government initiatives over here. So like there are a lot of them, but I'm not putting off over there. So there is an what we call a scheme from Government of India, Swadesh Darshan. Under it, we take projects for infrastructure development into the region, and these are the every state has two projects over here, and these are the sanction cost for it. So in like government is working for the infrastructure development in these regions. There are 2 projects and sanction cost for that. And there is a total ministry donor, Ministry or Department of Northeastern region. They are working for the development of Northeastern region, and there are tourism circuits. So let me tell you about what are the tourism circuits over here. So what are the circuits? Circuits are the enclosed areas. Like if I give you the example of tourism circuit, so there is a corridor known as Delhi, Agra, Jaipur corridor over there in north side. So it's a circuit. So it's a whole circuit. People start traveling from Delhi, they get into the Jaipur or Agra, and then they they finish it by going to Agra or Jaipur, something like that. A whole triangle, golden triangle, it is called over there. So it's a kind of circuit. So in circuits, we find out the places which have potential. We develop those places, nearby places which have potential for tourism. We connect them through all the infrastructure, and we develop these places so that a person, if a person is coming to this place, that person should go to the other place and then another place, and these people should cover whole circuit over there. So this will increase the opportunity of the getting tourism into the region, because there is a whole developed circuit over there. If people are starting from Delhi, they will go to Agra and then to Jaipur, and again back to the Delhi. It's a whole developed circuits with all infrastructure facilities and all that. If we cannot develop the whole region for the tourism, we can take up these circuits, actually the points and the places which have potential, and develop these circuits for the people, so at least people can come about. So ministry, donor have, and TCS, along with the TCS, they have identified 33 circuits in northeastern region. And out of these 33 circuits, 9 are taken for the first phase. I've given what all these 9s are. They're in the states of Arunachal, Manipur, Assam, and all. These are the circuits which should be taken up by donor very soon in the first phase, and development will be taken up from over here. Again, the donor has worked for the, like we have talked about bamboo and tea plantation in it. So both donor has talked about setting up the first bamboo industrial park in Assam, followed by a bamboo industrial park in Arunachal Pradesh also. So these are the some government initiatives for tourism. Apart from that, there are lots of state initiatives which are going on. So the overall thing over here is that I would conclude my presentation over here is, so the overall thing which I would like to tell you in the last is that we have to first of all change our perspective towards particular region or part of our country, and then we have to think about the tourism which is going to be there, because every part of the country has, this is the beauty of our country, that every part of country has some potential for tourism. Like I said before, that at every 25 kilometers the language change, foods change, and everything changes over there. And we already have a very enriched area, northeastern part of the country, which is enriched in natural beauty, enriched in culture, traditional crafts, and everything. Like, let it be the tourism, we even don't know about the history of Northeast. So this is not something which we want to do. Let's focus, like sir said, like before foreign tourists, we domestic tourism, like we have to encourage our domestic tourism into the area, because if domestic tourism will increase, foreign tourism will increase, will follow on that part. So let's visit Northeast somehow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time and all these things. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get back to the, yeah, ma'am have said that I don't think it's fair to blame central government for all the ills in Northeast. No, ma'am, I'm not blaming central government for all the ills in Northeast. I have worked in central government organization, and I know how good government is trying to get into the Northeast, and there are ample of initiatives which are going on into it. But yeah, historically we have seen this thing, ma'am, because if we go into the economic data and all the things, so like, but we have seen that there were the if we talk about the investment, then there were some lagged and some things, but I'm very happy to see that now Northeast is also given the equal treatment, because I've seen projects getting passed in front of me and all these things like Swadesh Darshan and tourism circuits and all these things. Ministry of Tourism also working towards the Northeast, because now they don't have any other option for that, because we have seen, like before outside people see the potential in Northeast, we have to see the potential in Northeast, and it is very much given by the data over here that for foreign tourist arrivals are more than the domestic tourist arrivals in that region. So we as the domestic people, we have the people of the country has to see the potential in our own brothers and sisters which are lying in Northeast. So yeah, I really cannot blame central government for all the ills in Northeast. No, I cannot, not at all. There are a number of hurdles over there, but yeah, we have to work it out together and all that. The next is feedback
If,
from,
if I
okay,
can just
I'm not
put
sure
in
it
a
is.
word, if I can just put in a
Yeah,
word. You see, even historically, no, these are all unproved facts. Okay, the last 10,
yeah,
15 years, the kind of money that is being pumped into Northeast. Okay, I'm working in a central university here, and I know the kind of money that is coming in. Okay, that's why I told you it's very unfair to be just giving a statement. If you look at my research work, I realize that the central government schemes are not being implemented in a small cluster in a remote area in the inner state. Okay, it's the same case everywhere. So even talking, say, historically and all that, I'm sorry, history is like 30 years now, and Northeast has been the focus. Now it's up to us in the Northeast to take up the gauntlet opportunity and move ahead. We cannot keep on harping on that we have been neglected. Sorry, as he said to Lalen Moya, that it is a state of contradictions. You have the best car running on the streets, you have the best mobile phone in the same state. At the same time, you have somebody who does not have a livelihood. So, that is the problem with the outsiders. You look at your lens itself is wrong. I'm not trying to blame you, I'm not trying to criticize you. I have been in the Northeast for 20 years. So 20 years, 2 decades, I have seen the kind of money that came into Assam, the kind of money that is coming into all the Northeastern states. So, and what else will the central government do? I don't find anything else. Somewhere it has to be taken up at the local level, which I, being in Mizoram, I have the guts. I am bold enough to say that locally it is not being taken up the opportunities. And, it's very sad when people from outside come and just start blaming the central government. In a place like this, it has a different perception. That is why I told you that. Okay. Sorry if I have. I didn't want to come out as a negative criticism. It's just that one, we have to guard our words. Without evidence,
Actually, I'm not coming. Like, actually, you are very much true in saying that local management of the resources is for the foremost thing, and it is important. Local management of the resources is the foremost thing which we have to look forward into it, and that's very true. But ma'am, the point over here is that the strategy of investment into the region, that has to be also seen from the perspective of the region also.
Okay, but then who's
Like,
going to invest? You tell me. Who's going to invest in a place where there is an ILP? There is a virtual, like until there was a 370 in JNK. How would you go and invest there? There has to be an environment for investment. We have a tax holiday for 10 years. This has gone on for the last 30 years. We have a tax holiday for 10 years, but we don't have. So it's high time we get into that and just stop blaming the policies, because the policies are the best policies in the world. I myself have gone into every policy. Implementation of the policy, even the central government has to look into. Instead of just putting in money, find out, monitor it, and find out what's going wrong somewhere, instead of just getting into a blame game. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
so the next question is going to be, how important is the tourism sector for country's economic growth when compared to other available resources such as natural resources, agriculture, mining, aqua, fishery, technology, and can be used and exported and so on? Yeah, it's a very good question over here. I've already told that like we can't we can't just separate natural resources and natural things from our tourism sector. There are lots of things with natural resources which are attracting tourism into the region. Like if you see the mining sector, like there is a part of the world that where like in Khajuraho, if you see, there's mining, diamond mining things over there, and diamond mines are there, and there's attracting lots of tourism over there. So yeah, natural resources can become the part of attracting tourism into the region, and we can't compare that. Okay, natural resources are important and tourism is not important for the sector. You have already seen that how much we are getting out of the tourism sector. We can combine both of these two sectors and we can generate a total income for the region or something like that. I think that's done with the questions, and
Thank you, Dr. Namrata Singh Power, for your valuable insight and eye-opening presentation. And thank you for pointing out the importance of tourism and the potentials and the measures needed to be taken. And if there are any more questions, please feel free to post it on the chat box. So
I'm so sorry, Juliet, but I think I have been called for a meeting.
okay,
If there are questions, I will love to answer them, but can I just go for that if
yes,
it's
yes,
okay?
okay, yes, uh,
Okay.
yes, okay.
Thank you so much. Thank
So
you so much.
yeah, thank you. So if you have any more questions to Dr. Namrata Singh Power, you can yeah, you please contact me. Then I will talk. You can talk to her. Okay. So now we will now as we can see that we have our presentation, all the presentations from our three resource person was indeed motivating and highly informative, and it covers all aspects through the administration and public sector perspective and the marketing prospect, and focusing on the rural tourism. So, and now now I would like to call upon our assistant coordinator, Ms. Aileen Malsomdungi, to give a vote of thanks.
Yes. Good afternoon, respected Vice Chancellor of ICFA University, Mizoram, Professor R.P. Vadera, our esteemed resource persons, organizing teams of ICFA University, Mizoram International Webinar Week 2021, my colleagues and all the participants. As we have come to a close on our program on tourism for inclusive growth, a way ahead, it is a great honor and privilege for me to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I would like to express my gratitude to our patron, Professor R.P. Vadera, our Vice Chancellor, and our wonderful resource persons, namely Mr. Vilal Engmoya, Director of Department of Tourism, Government of Mizoram, Dr. Ramaram Swami, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, and Nodal Officer of Department of Bivok Handloom Weavers, Mizoram University, and Dr. Namrata Singh Panwar, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Government Degree College, Uttarakhand. We are grateful for giving us your valuable time today to enlighten us with your informative lectures and presentation, and for reminding us our duties and responsibilities in promoting Mizoram tourism as citizens. I'm sure we have all learned from it and progressed because of it. And secondly, to the organizing team of ICFA University Mizoram International Webinar Week 2021, who have worked very hard to make this all possible. Our convener, Dr. Lal Thanpui Sailao, Secretary, Dr. Lal Tleipui, Treasurer, Ms. Vanal Longkimi, and technical in charge, who has been very busy, Mr. Vanal Swanmoya. I would like to extend my gratitude. And also thank you to the organizing team of this webinar on tourism for inclusive growth, a way ahead. Our coordinator, Ms. Zaire Moi, our secretary and host for this session, Ms. Juliet F. Zarzoliani, for making today's event a success. And last but not the least, my heartfelt gratitude goes to all the participants, without whom today's webinar would not be possible. Thank you, and I hope you have gained from this session.
Thank you, Ms. Aileen. A gentle reminder to all the participants, please fill the feedback form.
Thank you very much.
Certificate. And for inquiries or issues related or suggestion, kindly contact the organizing team. And as it is time to wind up our program, it is a pleasure being with you all today. We appreciate you being here and hope to see you again next time. And